don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Welcome back, chat. Welcome back, chat. We back.
Give me a hell
No, we ain't starting New Year without some Tupac.
What?
Yeah, start New Year off with some goddamn Tupac, my bad. Ooh, we just did Lil Pond shit. Oh, damn, I just see my video right there, twin. I just noticed that shit. That shit was right there in the corner. Hold on, nothing like a screenshot. Music, baby, just with all the greats. But start New Year off with Pop. You know, we're gonna do this like part 6. We don't never get to finish this shit. I'm trying to finish this shit today. I got some other part documentaries. We're gonna start doing some. I did Big Pun today, so we're gonna try to do Jay-Z versus Mobb Deep. I think I wanna do that tomorrow. Or I might just do Pac, I don't know. Or the demise of Biggie. But shout out Hip Hop Universe for giving us the info. See the video right there, chat. Dive into it. I'm gonna let y'all dive into it while we give me something to drink real quick.
And hatred for Biggie and Puffy. They were now in the same boat, had the same motives, the same mindset, the same enemies, the same level of hatred for them. And the
Stream Elements bot running robot face. Learn how to customize the bot here. https://docs.streamelements.com.
Oh, he's fucking up my shit. Alright, chat. I'm gonna run this
two already knew each other through their collaborations prior to Pac's incarceration. The Death Row record deal Pac almost signed in '93 before deciding against it, and his appearance on various Death Row soundtracks, like Above the Rim for example, and also Murder Was the Case, although they ultimately left his song off the album. They paid him regardless, knowing that Pac is short on money because of all the legal problems. So Suge always loved Pac, who on the other hand tried to keep a healthy distance from them, as he knew that they meant trouble. Pac and Death Row were like fire and gasoline, a dangerous combination. But with him being locked up, potentially for the next 4+ years, he had no other option but to join the label. He was filled with anger, rage and hatred, and quote-unquote sold his soul to the devil by signing to Suge Knight, the tyrant of the rap industry, who wanted to bail him out and give him a 3-album contract. Together they thought of a plan to destroy all their enemies on the East Coast. Pac was on board, and Suge wanted to end Puffy's career by all means necessary. He wanted to destroy the label Bad Boy and replace it with the new label branch Death Row East as the face of East Coast hip-hop. He wanted to sign all the artists that Puffy was working with, including Biggie, after humbling him and giving him no other option but to come to Death Row. Camp knew that it would create all the robbers at the entrance, or he saw Dexter Isaac on the 8th floor. depending on who's telling the truth. The fact that he invited Haitian Jack to his birthday party, while also hanging out with Jimmy Henchman at the same place Tupac got lured into, knowing that Pac was about to get dealt with him admitting in the Vibe magazine that the shooting happened because of a beef with someone else, meaning Jimmy Henchman, the same guy that admitted to everything, while continuing to do business with him afterwards and refusing to inform Tupac prior or even after the shooting about the setup. This proves Puffy's claims of having nothing to do with the robbery and being completely innocent, as he knew exactly what was going to happen, with Dexter Isaac and Jimmy Henchman confirming it, and Puffy thus being guilty by association and guilty for not intervening and taking action when help was needed. Because this incident could have easily been prevented or avoided if Puffy had just reached out to Pac. The assailant Dexter Isaac confessed everything in his book, and has since then apologized to Tupac's family. And after Jimmy Henchman's arrest, he admitted to everything Dexter Isaac said. But anyway, back to the shooting. Pac and his homies are now standing in front of the building. He sees one of the guys outside wearing army fatigues, and immediately thinks that that's Biggie's homie, since they would wear similar clothes every time they hung out together. He saw another guy inside wearing army fatigues as well, and Little C's and Chico were on the other side of the building. So Pac thought Biggie has the whole building locked down. He has his security and his homies everywhere. He felt safe, but he found it weird how the guys in army fatigues didn't greet him. One of them was outside leaning against the wall of the Quad Studio building, and another one was inside pretending to read the newspaper. The third guy, Dexter Isaac, was behind Tupac and his group. So Pac goes inside, and the moment he presses the elevator button, Dexter Isaac's homies pull out their guns on them, while Dexter is at the door looking out for cops. Pac supposedly shot himself in the groin in the attempt to catch the robbers off guard and shoot at them before they can react. And there were supposedly 4 more shots by the robbers. All we know is that Pac's manager, Freddie Moore, was also hit in the stomach. All witnesses have made conflicting statements on who pulled the trigger, on how many shots were fired, and on how many times Pac got hit. He either got shot once by himself and then pistol whipped, or shot 5 times, once by himself and then pistol whipped. Big Stretch and Dexter Isaac claimed the former, that Pac was only shot once. Pac and his brother-in-law Zayd claimed the latter, that he was shot 5 times, even though Pac at first thought that he only got shot once. But the doctors supposedly told him that he got shot 5 times. I broke this down in detail in my video for the Quad Studio shooting. I included every interview and every statement about this incident, so make sure to check it out for further information, cause I broke it down from everyone's point of view, so that you can form your own opinion on it. Little C's and Nino Brown came down the elevator, and Nino supposedly heard multiple shots. When the elevator doors opened, they saw everyone on the ground, and Pac was getting stomped out by one of the robbers. The second guy, who kept an eye on Stretch, Freddie Moore and Zayd, then yelled at Little C's and Nino Brown, ordering them to go back up. The two were in shock and scared to death. The robbers then took most of Pac's jewelry, but left the Rolex watch that Haitian Jack had gifted to him, to leave a message. Don't mess with Haitian Jack. That was the message. Cause Pac had disrespected him in the Daily News, calling him a hanger-on, after he got that separate trial. So Haitian Jack's friend, Jimmy Henchman, wanted to teach him a lesson, especially after Pac cussed him out on the phone while he was on his way to the Quad Studios. So now, both Pac and Big got robbed by the people close to Haitian Jack. Little C's then went back to the 10th floor, where Biggie and the rest of the group Junior Mafia were recording music, and told them that Pac is getting robbed downstairs. At first, Biggie thought that C's was joking and trying to prank him, but then he understood that he's being serious, and he immediately rushed to the elevator with his gun, going down, while the other elevator was going up. This one was used by Pac, Stretch, and Zayd, who were going up to the 8th floor where Puffy, Jimmy Henchman, Andre Harrell, and Lil Sean were waiting. Again, Andre Harrell was Puffy's mentor, and Lil Sean was the guy Tupac was supposed to record with. Pac thought Biggie was on that floor as well, but he was actually in the elevator going down to the 1st floor. When Biggie and Chico arrived at the lobby, they saw Tupac's bandana on the ground and blood everywhere. The cops came and pulled them to the side to question them. Little C's and the rest of the Junior Mafia clique later went down as well and were questioned by the police. They all knew nothing. So Pac comes out the elevator with Stretch and his brother-in-law Zayd, and they run into Puffy, Jimmy Henchman, Andre Harrell, Lil Sean, and others. Zayd supposedly held Puffy at gunpoint. They were already treating them like the enemy. A lot of things were going through Pac's head while he was upstairs on the 8th floor. There were supposedly around 40 people there. He was confused, upset, and suspicious. Maybe the men in the studio knew who'd done it and weren't saying anything. One of the reasons why he went upstairs was to see their reactions, see who's shocked and genuinely worried about him. He leaned against the glass doors on the 8th floor and looked at everyone while bleeding from his head. Everyone looked surprised when they saw him, including Puffy and Jimmy Henchman. According to Pac, Lil Sean immediately started crying and helped him to sit down. He and Stretch supported him from both sides and helped him walk to the couch, but Pac refused to sit down. They all saw the blood on his head and pants. Pac was in quote-unquote movie mode and started accusing people, saying that only Jimmy Henchman knew that he was coming, that nobody approached him and that everyone was looking suspicious. He would yell, "It was a setup. Call the police. What the hell is going on?" He was confused, disoriented, and full of anger. Blood came gushing out of his head and groin area, and it was hard for people to calm him down. He was moving around so much that the wounds were opening. According to Pac, no one tried to help him, but pretty much everyone else said that they were worried and tried to do everything they can to help him. They called the police, Pac's mother, and an ambulance. The EMS team then came and treated Tupac while he was on the ground. They removed his clothes, secured a brace around his neck, and strapped him to a board. Zayd and Lil Sean went to the other room to hide Tupac's gun, the one he used to shoot at the assailants. They hid it inside a piano to make sure that Pac doesn't get in legal trouble again, cause the cops came and questioned everybody. They locked down the entire building. This was just a small summary of the events that transpired that day. More about this in the Quad Studio documentary. So now Pac gets carried down the elevator, and according to Chico Del Vec, he and Biggie see him when he gets carried out of the building into the ambulance. Pac had seen Chico on the balcony with Little C's, so before the shooting happened, they gave him a feel of safety. But now he's laying in front of them, fully naked, covered in blood, confused and disoriented, looking angry and accusing everybody. When he got past Biggie, Chico, and the rest of Junior Mafia, he put up a middle finger and pointed at them, basically saying F you to Biggie and his crew.
But while they rolling him off the elevator, he looking at us against the wall. He said, "You," and Big was like, "Yo, why this dude mad at us about something about what the? We ain't do nothing wrong, you know what I'm saying?"
And then he looking around at us, looking. So what kind of expression he expect on our face? What we supposed to? We don't know what's going on. We looking like, oh.
Chico and Biggie figured Pac was confused. After all, he'd just been bomb-rushed and nearly killed. But they couldn't believe that he'd blamed them for the shooting. That's how they interpreted Pac putting up his middle finger. And in fairness to Chico and Biggie, there's very little evidence that they were indeed involved. Chico denied that Biggie and Junior Mafia had any connection to the shooting. Said Biggie came downstairs with a gun with the intention to defend Pac, ready to get into a shooting for his homie. Before Pac left the scene, he was interviewed by newspaper reporters while still being on the stretcher. He only said it was a setup, right before they carried him into the ambulance. They took a photo of him lying naked on the stretcher. The ambulance then drove off and rushed to the hospital. Videotape shot from outside the studio by a TV camera operator showed Puffy inside the downstairs lobby, in a baseball cap with a straw hanging from his mouth, staring at the camera and talking to several men. News footage also showed Biggie walking out the lobby, closely followed by Puffy. A lot of people were in and out the studio that night, many of whom were as bejeweled with gold as Pac was, but they weren't robbed or shot. That's how Tupac knew that the robbery was a calculated and planned setup. He was sure that no one else would have gotten robbed in his place, even if they had more jewelry on them than him. And indeed, he got confirmation by Jimmy Henchman himself that they were responsible for it. Cause when Pac was laying in the hospital bed, he was receiving death threats over the phone. His closest homies were relaying messages from his enemies. Stretch's brother Majesty confirmed that Jimmy Henchman was sending threats and messages moments after the shooting. They got the phone number of Stretch's mother and called the crib to relay a message. "We don't want beef, but we got money for war though." Stretch then went to visit Tupac in the hospital to pass the message. Napoleon from the Outlaws was there too. And according to him, Stretch told Pac, "Jimmy Henchman told me that you don't got your money right. You don't want to go to war." Pac was still laying in a hospital bed when he heard this. He and Napoleon thought it was weird for him to relay messages from his enemies. It almost seemed like he was cool with Jimmy Henchman. Stretch also asked Pac why he fought back. Somebody had told him that they were just going to take his jewelry, and that it was Pac's fault for getting shot. So Pac was wondering where Stretch got all the information from. They thought maybe Stretch is sending messages to Jimmy Henchman as well, informing him about where he's at, in what condition he is, what he's planning, what his next move is, if he really wants to go to war with him, and if he's holding a grudge. Pac just couldn't trust him anymore. He felt betrayed and at the same time unsafe, thinking that Stretch might tell Jimmy his exact location, so that he can send his people to come finish the job. Pac's friends and family were there with him at the hospital to protect him, just like the Nation of Islam. They kept an eye out for everyone that came to visit him, thinking they might try to kill him while he's laying there defenseless. The notorious B.I.G. actually came to the hospital to pay him a visit, but they didn't let him see him. Pac didn't want to see his face, thinking that he might be involved in the setup, cause hours after the shooting, Pac already got told who those men were that came to rob him. He knew that those were people from Brooklyn, where Biggie and his homies are from. Everywhere Pac went during the Quad Studio incident, he met Biggie's people. Little C's and Chico on the balcony, then Puffy and his mentor Andre Harrell, Little Sean and Jimmy Henchman, with whom Big would also work together after the robbery, and the entire Junior Mafia clique.
I know one thing for sure. Y'all think y'all can't trust niggas now? I definitely wouldn't trust nobody in the 90s. God damn.
They carried him to the ambulance. And as mentioned earlier, he thought that those robbers were Biggie's security. And on top of all that, Biggie tried to tell him something about Haitian Jack and his people, days before the shooting. So all this made him suspect Biggie. He talked about this in the Sway interview in '96.
And he told me, like, about a week before I got shot, he knew that it was shot me. He was like, "Pop, don't hang around this, you know, we walked in with that shot and they ended up shooting me." He's like, "Pop, because I knew it too, he was my co-D. And I was like, "What you mean?" He's like, "I'll talk to you about it later." And we didn't talk. The next time I saw him was at the studio where I got shot. So I knew he knew what happened. So I was like, "Biggie, what happened?" He kept sending me messages like I'm gonna come see you. No, what happened?
Seeing Biggie's homie Little C's on the balcony who told him to go around the building was also a terrible coincidence, as Pac wouldn't have even thought about Biggie if C's wasn't there. And it most likely contributed to him losing trust in them, since he lowered his guard the moment he saw Biggie's homies, and then jumped to conclusions thinking that the robbers are Biggie's security, right when he went inside the building. Had he not seen C's on the balcony, he wouldn't have thought that those men in army fatigues were Biggie's homies. That's why Pac told everyone to not let Biggie come to see him in the hospital. He was paranoid. Puffy, of course, didn't care about paying him a visit, but Big did, cause he was his homie. That's why he and Pac's brother-in-law Zayd went to the Quad Studios the day after the shooting to get the gun from the piano, so that Tupac doesn't get in trouble. They don't just let anybody inside that building. You need to get buzzed in by someone inside the Quad Studios to get inside. No one would have buzzed in Zayd on his own, but Biggie was a well-known artist, so they let him in. Without Biggie, Zayd wouldn't have been able to get that gun, which means that somebody would have eventually found it and handed it over to the police. With Pac's fingerprints on the gun, he would have been in trouble, cause they actually found the bullet in the lobby. So Big did him a favor during a time when Pac didn't want to speak to him. A day later, on December 1st, Pac checked himself out of the hospital and made a surprise appearance in the Manhattan courtroom, where his fate was being decided in the Ayanna Jackson assault case. Pac sat through the morning session before his right leg went numb. That's when he decided to leave the courtroom. He then went uptown and secretly checked into the Metropolitan Hospital Center on East 97th Street. A day later, he was already discharged. He had received even more death threats on the phone, and his family wanted to move him somewhere where he's safe. So he holed up at the apartment of a friend, the actress Jasmine Guy.
Shout out,
Tupac met and guest starred on a sitcom A Different World.
I knew I always liked On a Different World.
In her apartment, being cared for by his mother Afeni and a private doctor. He also got protection from a group of people who later became the Outlaws. The ones who stayed in the apartment with Pac were Napoleon, Castro, Idi Amin and Gaddafi. Those became his closest soldiers from that point on, his closest companions. He deaded the thug life movement as he didn't know who to trust, cutting ties with everyone including Stretch and Biggie. Most of the Outlaws at the time were Tupac's family. They all had guns on them, ready to protect
Biggie
Pac with their lives,
in
case Jimmy Henchman or Haitian Jack's people found them.
Killed on account he was going to leave the label.
Facts. Devin. I don't know, bro. What y'all think, shit? I think Biggie had something to do with it. Cause goddamn, bitch, you should have been telling me. You know what I'm saying? Did he put that baby oil on him? I'm trying to tell y'all. Him and Puff were lovers, bro. If y'all seen my shorts on my YouTube channel, you see motherfucker rubbing his hands, tell his hands smell nice and all. Grown ass man. You know what I'm saying? Tupac, sit your head down. You dancing too damn much. Hold on, twin. Sit your head down. Goddamn now. See, I'm trying to talk professionalism. Oh, damn. Hold on. Damn. Got him too big. I can't get him, Chad. I can't get him. Damn. Hold on. Hold on, twin. We're gonna let you talk your shit, twin. Put you over here, twin. Talk your shit. Talk your shit, twin.
To finish the job, Jasmine Guy lived in a secure and safe neighborhood, which made Pac feel more comfortable to an extent, but he was still holding on to his gun the whole time he was there.
What you mean I knew? What you mean? Tell me what
thinking
you mean
they
by
might
that. What you mean
come
by that?
anytime. But fortunately, nobody came and Pac could make a full recovery.
Tell I knew who set him
Big and
up.
Pac were not on speaking terms anymore, but they kept sending each other messages. Pac asked him what happened, and Big wouldn't tell him. Biggie sent him messages requesting to meet up with him and talk in person. But Pac wanted answers first. He was convinced that Biggie was hiding something, cause he had all his people around him in that building. They were everywhere on multiple floors. People on the East Coast believe that Tupac was acting this way because of pure immaturity, seeing him as someone who can't admit that he's wrong, cause he wanted to be the one that's cool with all the gangsters and street cats, the rapper that knows the streets the best, the one with wisdom and intelligence, someone that's a mentor to everybody.
God damn it.
He wanted Biggie to see him as his mentor and big brother, someone who he looks up to and reaches out to get advice and help. Pac wanted to be seen as a teacher, the mentor, the big brother, the guy that's always right, the guy that made it, the guy that everyone reaches out to learn. With Biggie saying stay away from Haitian Jack, and with Pac ignoring his advice and then getting into trouble, it was a I told you so moment. The people on the East Coast think that Tupac felt ashamed and didn't have the courage to walk up to Biggie and tell him, I should have listened to you. With Biggie saying, I told you so, you should have listened to me. It made Biggie look like the guy with the wisdom, the guy who knows the streets better than Pac. And Pac, according to the critics on the East Coast, was too embarrassed to admit that he was wrong. It kinda destroyed the image he had built for himself, cause Pac was always the one giving advices to Biggie. But now it was Biggie who was on top, telling Pac how to move in these streets, what to do and what not to do. And Biggie was right. This supposedly upset Tupac. His ego and pride was out of this world. He was incapable of humbling himself in front of one of his own soldiers. Didn't want to hear him say, I told you so, you should have listened to me.
Really?
Cause Biggie wasn't just a soldier anymore. He was a general now, with his own soldiers. And Pac didn't want to get treated like one of his soldiers.
They are opening up the cell, the case bail. C bail. Y'all think Puffy gonna go down for it? I hope
Biggie
so.
became a huge rap star in the game. 1994 was his year.
I hope so.
Earlier, all eyes were on Pac. Everyone idolized him. But now he was going through his worst moments, being rolled around in a wheelchair with bullet holes all over his body, needing weeks of rest to get fully healed while getting ready to go to prison for a crime he didn't commit, with the media destroying his image and everything he has worked for. Hip hop heads
I'ma
on the East
keep calling that
Coast
shit,
were
though, I ain't
convinced
gonna lie.
that in order to not lose face
Like-
in front of everyone,
This is what I don't understand right here with the shit right here. How the fuck he get to go to jail? There's no. I know he had to go to jail for the weapons though. I'm about to say for the assault shit. Like, bitch, she ain't got no. Ain't no DNA testing taken.
Pac chose to
Hello?
go on the offensive, partially blaming or at least distancing himself from Biggie and Puffy, instead of meeting up with them and telling
Damn.
Biggie that he was right. That's how Pac's haters
she
on
knew.
the
I
East
hope she
Coast
knew.
felt at the time.
Come on, sister.
Keeping his distance from Biggie made him question everything
I'm
about
about
the
to
quad
go. I'm about to go
incident.
hunt Instagram right
When
now
he
and tell.
got
Come on,
wheeled out
we
the
need
building
you.
while he
Come
was
on.
on the gurney,
Do it for
neither
Pac.
Biggie nor any of the Junior Mafia members looked at him with worry.
I hope
Pac
so.
interpreted that as them having
Davis, I'm a little
zero
more into
empathy
that.
or feelings for him,
Appreciate
as
you
if
telling
they
me that,
knew
though.
he was about to get dealt with. Same with Puffy, Andre Harrell, Little Sean, Jimmy Henchman, and everyone else in that building. It's possible that Pac made everything worse in his head than it actually transpired, after having enough time at home to digest what happened. Just him over and over recalling everything from memory, and subconsciously making everything worse in his
think
head
she's Tupac.
by overanalyzing the smallest details. Cause he was filled with adrenaline and anger, and he obviously perceived the things differently than everyone else that was present that day. His memory and perception might have been clouded by anger. The
Hold on,
people
Jay, I'm
on the
posting
East
on my
Coast
YouTube-
believed that
YouTube.
Pac blaming them for not showing enough empathy was because he wanted to act
can't
tough
see my
and distract
pictures,
from the
bro.
fact that he got roughed up, humbled, and robbed, which people on the streets think is dishonorable. In the hood, you don't want to be known as the guy that got punked and robbed.
Fuck that
Status
down.
and
Fuck
image
the
is very
hood.
important.
Fuck the streets, bro.
People don't want to look weak like a victim. They want to look tough and strong, especially when they have a reputation and are known for their
Yup, yup,
gangster and
yup.
thug image.
Yup.
And Pac supposedly
Say she
didn't want
caught.
people to
Say she was
think
with
that he's a
Puffy
fake gangster and
when the
actor,
hit was done.
someone who shot himself in the
She
attempt
knew.
of defending himself from the robbers. So that's why he supposedly chose to
Well, her
run with the
green
whole
ass.
story of everybody in that building setting him up, or at least knowing about the plans
She
of
need to
that
testify
robbery.
too.
That's
Get her in
how
court,
Pac's
too.
enemies on the East Coast interpreted his behavior, saying that he made the whole thing bigger than it is, turning it into a conspiracy to save his image. Instead of being known as the fake gangster who shot himself when he got tested, he wanted to be known as this heroic figure that got set up by a whole coast. And Pac didn't want to have anything to do with them anymore. He was done with the East Coast. On December 24th, they then released the single Big Papa, which became one of Biggie's biggest hits.
Fuck Biggie.
It's helped to boost the sales of Ready to Die. Pac got a little mad that Biggie's Ready to Die was outselling Thug Life. It turned out that Biggie turning his back on the group and focusing on his own career was a wise move, since Thug Life was commercially a flop. He was also upset that Big Papa, the song they copied from him, became such a huge hit. It was a missed opportunity for him. Cause like explained earlier, Puff Daddy got his hands on Pac's song Time to Get My Drink On, which was originally supposed to be on Pac's third album.
Is that song still
But
up?
Puffy stole it and reproduced the beat
Time to get my drink on. Y'all let me know. She pulled up, did it up about it was upset on her account. She said she. Oh, she got a child. You think she got a child, Pop? What is this? Yeah. I wouldn't want the whole time she was sleeping with all the men and shit. How the hell did you got them end up pregnant with Biggie shit? You know, no.
using the same sample, telling Biggie to rap on it. They wanted to put it out before Pac. Now he was
I
profiting
get
from
famous. I'm
Pac's
staying
ideas,
single. I don't go
using
down.
them before
Fuck
him.
that shit.
With those same ideas, Pac would scrap, Biggie would go
I'm staying
multi-platinum,
single,
while Pac is forced to start from scratch and reinvent himself. It seemed like Big and Pac were already competing during the recording process of Ready to Die and Me Against the World. And now, after the shooting, Pac would slowly start to let out all the frustrations he had with Biggie, all the grudges and anger he had built up. But back then, the only way of publicly spreading a message and reaching the masses
See, they
was
had cell
through
phone,
interviews
bro.
and songs,
We man, big.
for which he had
Diddy
no
would've been
time
goddamn
as
went
he
down.
was in the middle of the healing process and also had to deal with the Ayanna Jackson assault case, which was in its final stages now. While Pac maintained his innocence, his financial resources were being stretched to the limit by the legal action, and he couldn't make bail. While his lawyer worked on his appeal, Pac was locked up on February 14th, 1995 in the correctional facility in New York. It was during the time that Biggie exploded on the rap scene. Exactly 1 week after Pac got locked up, Biggie and Puffy decided to release a song called Who Shot Ya? February 21st, 1995. 3 months after the Quad Studio shooting. The title itself made everybody raise an eyebrow, but the overall concept and sound of the records made it even worse.
Well, I
Jimmy Henchman and Puffy wanted to put out that record to aggravate the wounds and create controversy around the time Tupac was in the news every day, because of not only the shooting but also him going to prison for a crime he didn't commit. He was a trending topic in the news and the main topic in the hip-hop world. So hearing Who Shot Ya with the Tupac shooting in the news, people put 2 and 2 together and came to the conclusion that Biggie is dissing Pac. The timing was just terrible, but it was done purposefully and strategically to increase Biggie's record sales, using the attention Pac gets from the media for Biggie's music. So they were basically making profit off another man's moment of pain, even though that same man opened doors for them and was one of their closest homies. The whole game interpreted the song as a taunt at Pac. There were rumors going around at that time that he didn't actually get shot 5 times, but that he only shot himself, and that he lied to the public to save his reputation. Biggie heard the rumor and got confirmation from Stretch, who was actually there.
But one thing I learned about Biggie,
he
always been a fucking hater. He hated on Craig Mack in Bad Boys. I said, well, how you hate on somebody on your own label? Cause he got them. He was already signed to Bad Boy. You hate on Craig too? Damn. That motherfucker was a hater, bro. Word.
Heard one shot. So the answer to Biggie asking the question, who shot ya, would have been Tupac. Tupac shot himself. So that of course infuriated Pac even more. People in Biggie's camp knew that it would create controversy. And Puffy was rubbing his hands like the devil, knowing that he can make profit from it. Trolling a man who's been the biggest topic on the news and can't defend himself now that he's in prison. All while remaining close to Jimmy Henchman, the mastermind behind the shooting. Pac wouldn't have been able to lyrically respond for about half a decade, even if he wanted to, cause he was sentenced to 1.5 to 4.5 years in prison. If Suge Knight hadn't bailed him out 8 months later, we might have not gotten a response. When Pac heard the song in prison, he was super upset and thought that they did it on purpose.
Low-key, I wish he
as a
did 4
slick
years
way to laugh at him.
Low-key though.
He was hurt. Not only because Big is his homie and it's a sensitive topic, but also because he thought the song is dope.
Going crazy.
That's what he told people. If Who Shot Ya was a trash song, it wouldn't have bothered him. But the song became the hardest thing in hip-hop. It really pissed him off. Such a great track. But it sounded like it was aimed at him. Normally, he would have been happy for Biggie for dropping such a great track. But this was the first Biggie song he couldn't bump like everyone else.
When he made Who Shot Ya, I wanted to quit, cause heartbeats sound like Sasquatch feet, thundering, shaking the concrete.
They stopped when I fall. Name was called the cops because they heard Masha. Like, okay.
Biggie knew
Yeah.
that part.
It was beautiful. It was so menacing. The dark chords and then his voice over them, and it was just like the hardest song you've ever heard.
Everyone in prison was playing it. They had it on repeat,
I think they didn't have a
telling
full
Pac that
conversation yet.
Biggie is taunting him. And Pac had to endure it for the next 8 months. He couldn't escape it. I mean, he goes to prison and a week later they drop the song. Prison mates would always ask him if there's beef between them. All while Pac was in a state of confusion, isolated from the rest of the world, with no contact to any of the people involved. He couldn't just call Biggie and talk it out with him, but he would hear all types of rumors while he was locked up. And for the next couple of weeks, he would always hear Biggie say, "Who shot ya?" When family members would come to visit him, he would ask them, why would he release that song? What is he trying to do? Because Pac never heard it before. Biggie used to give him demo tapes of songs that were just about to drop, to show him what he was currently working on. On the surface, this one seemed like a brand new record recorded after the shooting,
Biggie didn't give a fuck, bro.
Especially with Puffy yelling 9-5, short for 1995. Even though the first verse, more specifically the first version of the first verse, was recorded in 94, 3 months before the Quad Studio shooting. This was the first recording of the song Who Shot Ya, with only one Biggie verse. The second one wasn't planned at first. Puffy was yelling 9-5 in the ad-libs of the song. Those vocals were recorded in summer 94. If you listen closely, you can hear that the verse is slightly altered from the final version. It's an entirely different take. He actually called himself Biggie Smalls on this. But in the final version, which was recorded months later, he said B.I.G.
The lyrical molesting is taking place. With Biggie Smalls, it ain't safe. The lyrical molesting is taking place. With B.I.G. it ain't safe.
So two completely different recordings. He had to change it because the artist Biggie Smalls threatened to sue him if he continues to call himself Biggie Smalls.
I still ain't listening to
So
this
in summer 94, he officially changed his name to the Notorious B.I.G. This was shortly before his album Ready to Die came out, meaning before September 94. But this meant that they couldn't use the first version of Who Shot Ya. The beat was initially intended for Mary J. Blige's album My Life. Biggie and Keith Murray had a verse on it, but Puffy ended up giving the beat to Biggie. Keith Murray's verse was then later used on Eric Sermon's song Tell 'Em, and then also on the K. Murray interlude on Mary's album. The second take of Biggie's first verse was recorded after the release of Ready to Die, somewhere around the time Tupac got shot, and nobody wants to reveal when exactly the song was re-recorded. Again, only the first take of the first verse was recorded before the Quad Studio shooting. The second take of the first verse and the second verse, which completed the song, were recorded after the shooting. Because according to DJ Clark Kent, Biggie was fed up with Clark overpraising the rapper Jay-Z when they were on tour together in December 94, meaning the month after Tupac got shot. The song wouldn't have been re-recorded.
And I just found out he stole Tupac's song too. If y'all seen my streams, me and my girlfriend, him and damn Beyonce, I blocked both of them motherfuckers. I blocked both of them motherfuckers for doing that. Stole that damn song.
And completed if DJ Clark Kent hadn't annoyed Biggie, cause Biggie didn't know what to do with that song. Who Shot Ya became a track for Biggie to show off his rapping skills, a way for Biggie to prove that he's a better rapper than Jay-Z. So while being on tour, Biggie went back to the studio in New York to record the second verse of Who Shot Ya, and also to re-record the first verse to improve his delivery, while also changing a couple of lines, like the one where he calls himself Biggie Smalls, and also the one in the outro where he's giving Mary J. Blige a shout-out. 2 days later, they went back on tour, and Biggie played DJ Clark Kent the final version of the song Who Shot Ya, to convince him that he's a better rapper than Jay-Z. This whole incident happened when Biggie, Junior Mafia, and DJ Clark Kent were touring, which they did in December 94. And Biggie played him the song at the airport. So again, the second verse with the lines against Jay-Z and possibly against Tupac were recorded a couple weeks after the Quad Studio shooting.
I know y'all hate me, I keep stopping. Everybody was stealing from Pac. Snoop Dogg and them was stealing from Pac. Dr. Dre and them, they was stealing from Ice Cube, they all was stealing from Pac. All of them, that's why he had to keep changing his albums. They all was stealing from him, bro. Stealing his goddamn thug life, we was doing it and shit. They all was stealing from him, bro. Like, y'all was, I'm like, damn, Snoop Dogg and them was stealing from him? I said, damn.
On November 30th, there's footage of DJ Clark Kent and Biggie performing together in Richmond, Virginia. On December 27th, they were flying from city to city and playing each other music.
Guilty.
Clark Kent made Biggie listen to
only got one guilty,
and Biggie
so everybody else
think
he
his
innocent.
Own songs. Even if Who Shot Ya wasn't a diss at Tupac, it was strategically released at a very vulnerable moment for him, knowing that the media would hype it up and turn it into a headline. Pac was already getting crucified by the media, and people were calling him names for the assault case, destroying his image and reputation, to the point that the people from Interscope Records didn't really want to have him on their label anymore, even though he became a platinum artist.
What happened to her?
At this point, Pac was really done with
She ain't gonna testify?
because the media had destroyed everything he worked for, to the point that people started to view him as this disgusting, filthy animal and psycho.
Y'all gonna make me put my damn
the
glasses
complete
on.
opposite of what he was trying to be.
I gotta be special
Plus,
gadget
he's in
this
prison,
bitch.
locked up for a couple of years. And now Puff and Big are kicking him while he's already on the ground defeated. And the people who really believe that Pac is an abuser really love the idea that he's getting dissed. Look, we're dissing this disgusting animal that just got locked up for assaulting a woman. They never actually said it, but that's how some people...
That's the thing they love to use too. I noticed over the history of hip-hop, it always ended with abuse for the women. They love to use that shit. it's like a certain pattern. Y'all gotta pay attention to the pattern. Is it this or is it racism? You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. It's a certain pattern in that shit. Even to today, man, abuse women. They try to make our women turn against us, bro. That's how I do it. That's how they do, bro. Fuck the whole goddamn culture.
People interpreted this song. Biggie didn't even think that Pac would take offense to it, nor did he care about it.
Yep,
again, he probably had zero intention to diss him. Let's take him by his words, cause he always denied it. That being said, pretty much everyone at the time thought that it was about Tupac. I mean, who else in the rap game got shot around that time? Why drop a single called Who Shot Ya when your homie gets shot and thinks that you might have known something about it? You wouldn't do that to a friend. It's distasteful. People connected the dots and said that him releasing the song exactly a week after Pac went to prison couldn't have been a coincidence.
Thanks, bro.
You would expect your friend to proceed with caution after you accused him of knowing something about the setup. Cause Pac was already claiming that Puffy and
That's why people scared to stand up for black culture, bro. Shit like this, they gonna use this shit. All these strategies, they gonna use that shit against you. If you have a voice, they gonna get you. They even gonna get you a girl. They gonna get you the you know what I'm saying? Homosexual people know nothing get shot, but they gonna use that. They gonna try to get you for that. But there's so many tech they be using, bro. They still be using today. People just be delusional as hell. I be like, how y'all still delusional? Y'all don't see what's going on? Crazy as hell. But people so used to being comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Cause the government kind of take care of us and shit. Ain't shit we can do about it. You know what I'm saying? Cause we goddamn do overthrow the government. What the fuck we gonna do? Cause we don't know how to farm. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't know how to farm in the U.S. Shit like other countries do. They can farm and grow their own shit. We gotta rely on vegetables and shit, fake chemicals and shit. We gotta rely on that shit. Cause shit, if they stop that shit, the world gonna go crazy.
Andre Harrell knew about it, as they were there with Jimmy Henchman when Pac came up.
Y'all don't want to take it there. We can take it there.
With Jimmy using Stretch to send messages, he had confirmation that it was indeed him who gave the green light for the shooting.
About money, not racism.
Why would Biggie and Puffy continue to do business with Jimmy after the shooting and those threats?
Every 2-3 years gonna be some racism.
Started to become paranoid and started to overanalyze every line from rappers from New York.
They gonna get one black brother.
Might be a
you know what I'm saying? Police gonna beat him up, kill him.
He really
we all gonna be riding again.
They
gonna die down again. You know
with every rapper from New York trying to say something slick about him in their lyrics. And it all started with Who Shot Ya. Pac interpreted some of the lines on there as references to the Quad Studio shooting.
14.
The opening lines already hit a nerve, with Pac thinking that Biggie is directly talking to him, asking who shot ya, knowing that his best friend Big Stretch, who was there that night, sitting on the ground during the robbery, has witnessed the whole incident and told Biggie that Tupac shot himself, and that no other bullets were fired.
It says a picture of your family.
Biggie was convinced that Pac made up the whole story about getting shot 5 times to make it more dramatic. And Pac thought that Biggie asking who shot ya was sarcastic, an attempt to belittle him, calling him weak and obsolete. Weak because he couldn't defend himself with a gun in his hand, and obsolete because Biggie is now taking his spot in the rap game, with Pac going to prison for 1.5 to 4.5 years.
He was locked up. You ain't even never had your shine.
The entire first verse was written in summer '94, but Pac interpreted these lines differently and thought it was a diss, like him saying hard to creep them Brooklyn streets. The robbers came from Brooklyn, and they all looked like Biggie's homies.
Who winning you out, lady? Talking about me?
So Biggie is telling the guy who got shot that the beef is on. Hearing your friends say this after going through a traumatizing experience like this must have been soul-crushing for him. With rumors of Puffy and Biggie's involvement in the shooting floating around, on top of Pac accusing people of setting him up, and Biggie saying it's on, F all that bickering beef, Pac saw it.
Although we gotta tell like we said, cause what's gonna say she gonna, lady say gonna leave.
There's confirmation that Biggie really has a problem with him and wants to beef with him. He started to connect the dots with the possibility of Biggie's homie Lil C's quote-unquote luring him into a trap by telling him to come around the corner to the place where the robbers were waiting for him. Assuming that Lil Cease and thus Biggie might have been involved in this, or at least might have known about this, it wouldn't make sense for Biggie to be so insensitive and drop a song like this the week Pac went to prison if he really wasn't involved.
Facts.
That's what Pac thought. This line is often mistaken as a reference to the Quad Studio shooting, where the neighbors called the cops after hearing the shots. Biggie was in the lobby getting
I gotta say one thing,
interviewed by the
and I ain't gonna pause no more. Nigga had an album Life or Death. Who still talking about Biggie? People talk about Pop more than Biggie. They just be real. They call spade spade. I ain't heard nobody really talk about Biggie like that. Let some Diddy shit going on. Everybody still talk about Pop today. Imitate him, make videos, hit him up all the time. In 2025, it's gonna be the same in 2026. Biggie on here with 2 albums.
Police when they carried Pac out the building.
So
but
who
the
really
lines
won
that people use
between
to
that
back
beef?
up the theory that the song was indeed aimed at Pac are the following.
Old school, new school, need to learn though.
Look. Copy. But you really this LL Cool J, that's what they say.
Tupac had a song called Old School on the album Me Against the World, which was just about to drop. He played it for Biggie when the two hung out together. So people thought that Biggie is referencing that song. But again, that verse was recorded 3 months before the Quad Studio shooting, with LL Cool J sitting in the studio writing lyrics. And
hey,
the
wrong or
target
right,
for that line
I'm still gonna ride Pac. I don't give a damn
L,
nobody say. You ain't gonna change my mind.
For whatever reason, didn't like him. And
It thug
actually
life
dissed
real
LL on
here.
the song.
It thug
when he
life
said,
real over here.
Old school, new school, need to learn
Some
though.
people more interested in Pac.
L and Biggie were competing for the crown back then. Not only did they go toe-to-toe on the Flavor in Your Ear remix, but they both wanted the King of New York title for themselves, with L representing
I ain't
the older
heard nothing in
generation
years
and Big
except for the
the new.
goddamn Biggie movie. That's all I
why
heard.
he said old school, new school need to learn though. Biggie would later record a song called Going Back to Kelly, similar to LL's song, which has the same title. Part of the reason why he did it was because he wanted to show L that his song is better, while L's song sounds dated, indirectly telling him that he's old and obsolete. Just like he said in the beginning of Who Shot Ya, Biggie wanted to take his spot. LL Cool J is not only considered the leader of the first new school era in hip-hop, but at this point in his career, with him being a veteran that has been in the game for over 10 years, people started to put him in the old school category. And Biggie wanted to show LL that he's
I gotta get more on it.
that he's the thing
I was
of
a
the
baby
past
at the
now,
time.
that he should just sit back and learn from him. As Big as the rightful owner of the crown, the King of New York title. So they were competing. Both L and Big prepared verses for the Who Shot Ya beats, but Big was faster. L was still sitting in the studio writing when he heard Biggie dissing him. Everyone in the studio knew that it was about L, who then later recorded the response record called I Shot Ya,
I'm gonna be so
which
happy, bro.
Pac also took offense to when
I'm be
it
like,
came out
I'm like,
on October 31st,
what they call
1995.
MTV? Well, not MTV, but
So in 95,
TMZ.
we got two
I'm
game-changing
reporting all
records
this
about
shit.
shooting someone, with everyone
They finally
thinking
got
that
him.
both songs
Y'all
were
gonna see a
aimed at
thumbnail.
Pac.
Finally got him.
Both Who Shot Ya and I Shot Ya, all because of Biggie and Puffy.
I can't wait, motherfucker. Get his ass.
They unintentionally caused the beef between Pac and L, and also the feature guests on the song.
LL Cool J, we gonna fall out.
The remix to I Shot Ya was a parsley track with some of the illest rappers from New York at the time. And Pac thought that everyone from New York was out together.
This my boy one more time.
First
We gonna fall the
Biggie,
fuck
then
out. I'ma
L,
block
and
your
then a
ass
whole
too.
entourage of rappers. Pac later confronted one of the feature guests of I Shot Ya, called Keith Murray.
Who the fuck is Keith
who,
Murray?
like I said earlier, was not only on the original and remix version of LL's I Shot Ya, but also on the first version of Biggie's Who Shot Ya. There was also friction with the other feature guests, Fat Joe, Prodigy from Mobb Deep, and Foxy Brown. Pac was under the impression that all these rappers were trying to beef with him, cause around that same time, Fat Joe had made some comments about him on the radio, saying that he's ready to beef with him if Pac makes a step in his direction. Cause Pac was wilding out in interviews and blaming all the major A&Rs, label managers, rappers, and DJs in New York of knowing who set him up.
Which ones?
Fat Joe felt some type of way
LL
about
Cool
it
J?
and warned him on the
Look at the
radio.
old music video.
Pac was then approached and threatened by all the Puerto Ricans in prison. They put him on the phone with
I wish I
Joe
could do it
and
on
they
YouTube,
talked it
though.
out.
I can do it on
Fat
Twitch,
Joe's
though. I can't do it on
people then
YouTube.
had
They take
Pac's
this shit
back.
copyrighted.
Cause Pac actually had love and respect for Joe prior to the shooting. They made peace before I Shot Ya dropped. And once I Shot Ya came out, Pac started to see him as his enemy.
I would
Fat
too.
Joe would also stay loyal to Biggie. And they would later even record diss records against Pac. Pac also got into a beef with Prodigy from Mobb Deep after being released from prison. And Foxy Brown would not only become a member of the rival rap
We
group
banned
The
Foxy
Firm
Brown
with
too.
AZ and Nas, with whom Pac would beef with in '96, but she was also present the day Tupac got shot in Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996. She was in the black Benz with a man named Eric Von Zip, who gave the Crip Keefe D the gun which they used to shoot Tupac. I covered this in my Tupac murder documentary. Make sure to check it out. So yeah, Who Shot Ya caused a lot of problems for Pac. All of a sudden, he was beefing with all the major
TV1?
rappers from
Damn, I
these
forgot about
coasts.
this shit. TV1?
Them being on the song I Shot Ya contributed to Tupac having an issue with New York, because he felt like they were all making fun of him for getting robbed and shot after coming to New York.
She was in the car with the Crip people who killed Pac. She was in LA, Las Vegas. She was in there. Allegedly, she was in there. I know, but a lot of people say Pac ain't lyrics. Y'all crazy as fuck, bro. I don't know the fuck y'all. I don't know the fuck y'all listen to.
York, while using his moment of pain to get some clout, rapping I Shot Ya when the whole world is wondering who shot Tupac. Anyway, in my video for the Big and Nas beef, I also explained how the second verse on Who Shot Ya
I thought
was
they say Jay-Z
dedicated
the
to Jay.
goddamn number one best
Make
rapper. I
sure
don't know
to
what
check
the
it
fuck they
out
got
for
there.
more
Who the
info.
fuck came up with
So
this shit?
yeah, the main targets of the song were
I don't even know
LL
his
Cool
radio
J and
hits. I don't
Jay-Z,
listen to no damn Jay-Z.
not Tupac. It was also a warning to his adversaries to not
He
mess
copied
with him,
goddamn.
because he's not
He
actually
copied Tupac
dropping
and
names.
goddamn Biggie.
This could technically be about anyone, but a lot of the lines were interpreted as jabs at Tupac, like when he said,
I make your skin chafe, rashes on the masses, bumps and bruises, blunts and Land Cruisers.
Pac got pistol whipped and bruised up, which left him bleeding. He had chafed skin on the side of his head, and Biggie is saying that the victim he's about to shoot will get his skin shaved. But these lines couldn't have been about the Quad Studio shooting since they're from the first verse, which again was written before Pac got shot.
Facts.
But people still thought that he's talking about
Facts.
Pac, and he of course
Facts.
re-recorded the verse after the shooting, knowing that Pac went through the exact same things he's
I know
rapping
y'all
about.
hate me. I keep talking shit. We talking good and we discuss. We gotta discuss this shit. Ice Cube was hating about a girl, Yo-Yo. Dr. Dre was hating. He took it. Well, Tupac killed that guy in California. He loved him. I ain't gonna care. But y'all seen me. If y'all seen my live about Tupac versus Dr. Dre, y'all can go back and watch that. We discussed that in there. We discussed why Dr. Dre was hating on Tupac. Everybody was hating, bro. Words. Snoop Dogg and them was hating. They was Snoop Dogg two faces anyway. He don't know what the fuck he want. One minute he love Pop, next minute he don't want to do shit. Like, yeah, make up your goddamn mind, bitch.
But things got more interesting in the
All
second
them
verse,
motherfuckers haters.
which was written after the shooting. These are the lines that you could
I
argue
just wish
were
Tupac
meant
would've
for
seen
Pac,
that shit and just fell
even
back
though
from all them
Big didn't really have a
motherfuckers,
reason to diss him, aside from the fact that he got robbed by Haitian Jack's people because of Tupac supposedly running his mouth. Some people think that that was Biggie's motivation for dissing him, cause he spit lines like,
I know, I be arguing with people, bro. People be arguing with me, bro. Like,
when Pac
people at my
reached
job
for
be
his
arguing with me
gun,
about this shit.
2 of the 3 robbers supposedly shot him. He made a false move
Y'all niggas
when they were
crazy as
frisking
hell.
him. When Pac reached for his gun and turned around, the robbers quickly reacted.
See, they don't
and
really
Pac
know
got
Pac. They
riddled
just know him
with
by
bullets.
the, he be doing that
That's the
thug
meaning
dead and
of
shit.
getting Swiss
I don't like,
cheesed
I
up,
love Pac. I used to
getting
do that shit, but I
holes
love
from
Pac
all
because his
directions.
poetic side. You know what I'm saying? How he stood up for our people and shit. That's what I love Pac so much.
Rolex on the
But
arm.
all these people turn
The
against him and
robbers
shit.
took
That's why
all
he
of
started
Pac's
going
jewelry,
this way.
Except
You know
for
what
the
I'm
Rolex Haitian Jack bought him. They left the Rolex watch on Pac's arm
Know what I'm
to
saying?
send him a message
so
and
much,
to make him
bro.
understand that they only roughed him up because he messed with Haitian Jack and Jimmy Henchman. Pac was also the one who bought Biggie his first Rolex. So yeah, a lot of weird coincidences.
Fur Rolex, let you
There
sleep on
are
the
too
couch.
many lines on here that sound like
do
jabs
fuck
at
shit
Pac.
like that, bro.
Like when he
what the
said,
fuck?
Recognize my face, so there won't be no mistake. So you know where to tell Jake Lane one.
Jake is a slang term for cops, the police.
I'm
Tupac
down.
was
He
calling the
dissing
cops
that in
shortly
there,
before going upstairs. And he later told Puffy, Andre Harrell, and everyone in the building to go get the cops, pacing around the room saying, "Call the cops." It was a setup. Puffy and everyone else were surprised to hear Tupac, the cop shooter, ask for the cops, since he always had this image of him being basically the enemy of the police and the government, never wanting to cooperate with them, especially after shooting 2 off-duty police officers, witnessing police brutality firsthand, and after getting arrested numerous times. And him saying, "Recognize my face so there won't be no mistake," almost sounds like a response to Pac blindly accusing everybody of setting him up, even though he didn't know for sure who was involved. And yeah, he also wanted those same people to call the cops.
Lane one, brave one, turn front page one.
These lines were also
people
interpreted
did goddamn
as a reference
Jesus.
to
I'm trying
Pac
to tell
making
you.
front page after getting shot 5 times at the quad
I love my
studios.
people too. Shit,
Everybody
hell no.
called him brave and
Fuck
bold for reaching
Motherfucker
for
said they
his
be the
gun
one
when
that
he
turn
was
on you
being
first.
held at gunpoint.
She throw him
All
some
they
money.
wanted was his
Shit.
jewelry. They didn't even want to shoot him.
Crazy.
While Pac's
Fuck that.
homies dropped to the floor, he was
That
brave
shit
and stood his
sad,
ground.
though, low-key.
Tried to fight back even though he was outnumbered and being held at gunpoint. So even the part where Biggie calls his victim brave fits Pac's situation at the quad studios perfectly. Almost every line in the second
what's that
verse
football
can
player that took
somehow
a knee
be
for
linked
us?
to the shooting. The title "Who
Look
Shot
where he
Ya"
at now.
combined with him
Well,
saying
black
the
people, we supposed to
victim
be
turned
uplifting
front
his
page after getting shot
What's his
left
name?
no doubt in Pac's
some
mind
shit.
that Biggie was talking slick about him. And
Damn, what's his
Pac
name?
wasn't the only one feeling that way. In '95, Biggie would start performing the song live, like in Chicago for example. And the crowd oftentimes would get upset, thinking that he's dissing Pac. So Biggie didn't really perform it as much as some of his other hits.
This industry, I turn your best friends into your worst enemies. Pac warned me, but I didn't believe him.
Cap get. Damn, I can't never say his name, man. Yeah, him. Yeah. Why the fuck he can't play football?
So yeah, this is one of those songs that people
Why
consider
people-
a diss track even though it's supposedly not. The bad boy camp has always denied it.
Tell him.
But with Pac becoming paranoid and overanalyzing every lyric, he took offense
Yeah.
to all the lines I highlighted.
Stand up
And
for our
he
people and
also
shit. See
agreed
what
with
happened.
the
Look what
media
happened.
and fans that the song is
Be
about
having our
him.
own black people
In prison,
on little
people
sports
who
thing
didn't like
talking
him
bad
would
about him
bump
and
the
shit.
song
Like,
so
you
loud
shouldn't
that Pac
did
would
that.
hear it. And he was constantly reminded of the shooting. Strangers
bro.
would approach and ask him if he heard the rumors of Biggie having something to do with it. Some claimed that Biggie admitted to it right in front of them, with Big and Puff laughing at him, saying that they finally got rid of him.
While I'm in jail, strangers is telling me, yo, you don't know? Biggie homeboy shot you. Because they bragging. They telling they niggas in jail. Yo, we just got popped. Woo, woo, woo. And my cousin was in jail in New York because I got family out there.
Yeah.
He sit right there while the niggas getting the call. Boy, yo, my homeboys just
That
jacked
nigga said-
Tupac. So that's how I knew he shot me. What happened next?
Cause I was like, I like the Biggie though. I like the Biggie. Before I even found all this shit out, I like the Biggie. When I started to really listen what the fuck he was saying in his round, when he said I'd rather go to hell, you know what I'm saying? I'm a Christian. You know what I'm saying? I said, you rather go to hell and chill with the devil, the demons and shit? I said, what the fuck? I was like, oh, I can't rock with that. Hell nah, twin. That's just me personally. I don't give a damn how good the song is. Like, bitch, you start saying that shit. Oh, hell nah.
This
Fuck
was
that.
Pac's biggest fear. He had been thinking of the possibility of Big having something to do with it. He was confused and didn't know who to
I was
trust.
gonna say his cousin.
Now, the people who approached him in prison and told him
With
those
the-
rumors
with the nigga?
could have lied
With the nigga
about
who
it
shot him?
or made it up,
Who he's in
just
jail
to
with?
create a conflict. Cause people love drama and fights,
Shout out
even
David
if they're
Brown.
pointless. It's entertainment to them, especially when celebrities are involved. Pac was in such a vulnerable state that you could have told him anything, and he would have believed it.
See, do what
He
happened when
wanted
you
to
too
make
kind,
sure
you too
to not make
kind-hearted,
the
bro.
same mistakes again and trust the wrong people.
Nah, you
Because
too
up until
kind-hearted,
this
bro. When you
point,
kind-hearted,
he
that's
thought
even
that no black
if
man
anybody,
can
you
do him
kind-hearted
wrong,
people take advantage
as he
of that
was
shit, bro.
always fighting for their
Word.
rights, with him being the son
If
of
it
a Black
benefits them,
Panther.
they gonna take advantage
But
of that
that
shit, bro.
incident destroyed everything he believed in. He felt like he was stabbed in the back by his own people.
See?
Not only because of the shooting, but also because of the Ayanna Jackson assault case. And he had been fighting for women's rights his entire career, spreading awareness with songs like Keep Your Head Up, for example.
Damn, my shit right there.
It definitely destroyed everything he believed in.
Dead Mama still made me cry.
That's why when he came out of prison, he became a completely different person. He understood that you can't trust anybody, but he definitely took everything the prison mates said to heart, and didn't think of the possibility that those rumors were made up, as he would hear multiple people repeating the same thing, and they would confirm some of his biggest fears and theories. Pac told Vibe, even if the song ain't about me, you should be like, I'm not putting it out, cause he might think it's about him. Biggie responded to those comments in the September 96 issue of the Vibe magazine, saying, I wrote that mother effing song way before Tupac got shot. It was supposed to be the intro to that ish Keith Murray was doing on Mary J. Blige's joint, but Puff said it was too hard. Biggie is talking about the K. Murray interlude on Mary J. Blige's 94 album My Life. Big is trickle-truthing the audience here. Cause like explained earlier, the version with Keith Murray only had the first verse. Actually, the first version of the first verse, which later got changed. But that's the only verse he wrote before the shooting. The second one, together with the updated first verse, was written in December 94, meaning after Pac got shot. On March 14th, Tupac's third album, Me Against the World, finally came out, but the Biggie and Stretch features were removed. Stretch was supposed to be on the single So Many Tears, but he was cut off the album. Same with Big. The song Runnin' From the Police, which also had Stretch on it, was removed from the tracklist, either due to their beef or because it was deemed by Interscope Records to be too controversial to be released. But it's true that Pac didn't want them on his album anymore. Not only that, but
they say New York like that for real. They like shit like that for real.
Nobody ever came to save me. They just watch what happened to you. That's why Thug Life to me is
Tupac from
dead.
New York though.
If it's real, then let somebody else represent it. Because I'm tired of it. I represent
like really, he
supposed
to be like the king of New York.
I was Thug Life. I was the only guy out there putting my life on the line.
So he really be the king of New
this
York,
Thug Life stuff was.
Am I wrong? Ain't nobody thought about this.
My intentions was always in the right place. I never killed anybody. I never R-worded anybody. I never committed no crimes that weren't honorable, that weren't to defend myself. That's what he said in the April 95 issue of the Vibe magazine, where he addressed the Quad Studio incident
I want to get that
and the
damn
aftermath.
magazine and frame that motherfucker.
He gave us his views on who was behind the shooting, and told us exactly what happened that night.
Can I find that?
The cover story was titled Ready to Live, which people
appreciate
saw as a
I
subliminal
appreciate
jab
that.
at Biggie, whose debut album is titled Ready to Die. The magazines back then did it on purpose to start drama. Like a year later in the July 96 issue of the Source magazine, for example, where they called the cover story for Dr. Dre Life After Death, the same name as Biggie's second album. Both Dre and Biggie made peace at the time, and they were both beefing with Tupac, who of course took offense to it. Just like how Biggie took offense to the cover story Ready to Live, with Pac going off on everybody that was there during the Quad Studio shooting. Cause in this interview, Pac wrongly accused Biggie of being
from
there
New York,
on
right?
the 8th floor together with Puffy and Jimmy Henchman, the guy who plotted the shooting. But Big wasn't there. It was completely untrue. He was on the 10th floor. He didn't see Pac until he came out the building on a gurney. And Biggie was forced to correct him in interviews, cause people started blaming him even though he wasn't even there for Pac. The main people who were waiting for Pac were Jimmy Henchman, Andre Harrell, and Lil Sean. Puffy was just there by coincidence. But Jimmy told him that Pac was about to get dealt with. Biggie, Lil C's, and Junior Mafia were 2 floors above them, and Puff was trying to find them. In the Vibe magazine, Pac described what happened when he got to the 8th floor. When we got upstairs, I looked around and it scared the ish out of me. Why? The interviewer asked. Because Andre Harrell was there.
Oh, you so
Puffy
motherfucking lucky.
Biggie. There was about 40 people there. The only people Tupac expected to see were Jimmy Henchman and Lil Sean. He didn't expect to see anyone else there. Pac also expressed his disappointment in his best friend Big Stretch for allowing the robbers to beat him up and shoot him. All while he was just sitting there doing nothing. He felt like he didn't get enough support, empathy, and help. Nobody approached me. I noticed that nobody would look at me. Andre Harrell wouldn't look at me. Puffy was standing back too. I knew Puffy. He knew how much stuff I had done for Biggie before he came out. In the interview, he didn't really say that Biggie and Puffy set him up, or that they knew something about the shooting. But that's how people interpreted this interview, especially with him calling them out by names and saying that Biggie was there when he wasn't.
I gotta call him
He
dead.
also said that the shooters looked like some of Biggie's homies, and that nobody showed empathy. Biggie was actually mad at Pac for throwing Stretch under the bus.
He left his mate. Like,
This article actually made Big and Stretch become way closer. Because Pac called Stretch a coward for not helping, for dropping like a sack of potatoes, even though he was the biggest guy there.
From them,
and Biggie felt like he shouldn't have said that.
It's the same
In
thing.
the MTV interview on March 30th, he responded to that article and expressed his disappointment in Pac.
Tupac article had me pissed off. You know what I'm
Talking about the sacrifice?
Because first of all, he dissed my man, saying my man turned his back on him, and I know for a fact that didn't happen, you know what I'm saying?
My closest friends did me in. My closest friends, my homies, people who I done took care of their whole family. I done took care of everything for them, looked out for them, put them in the game, everything turned on me.
And the rumors that's spreading is on some tip like we set him up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to make sure he say the right thing. He looked there and said, well, you better say the right name, boy.
If you was to get shot 5 times, the mind is just completely spinning, you know what I'm saying? You're real confused about your situation. So it'll cause you to say things that you really don't mean.
I would tell each and every person
You know they
out
give you the
there,
question before you
forget
even go
about
in the
that
interview.
clicking up thing, you know what I mean?
What they gonna ask you
Do
and
to
shit.
yourself.
So
Stay
they
to
got
yourself.
them
Trust
PR this
nobody.
shit.
Trust nobody.
After
Puffy
reading
now.
the Vibe interview, Lil Sean and Big talked about that night at the Quad Studios. Big told him that he's sad and disappointed in Pac for thinking that he had something to do with the robbery. He said that he warned him about the people who robbed him before the robbery happened, told him to stay away from them. He also accused Pac of telling Haitian Jack and his people that he warned him. And that's supposedly why Haitian Jack and his people came after Biggie as well, and they robbed him too.
I don't believe that
Because
shit.
Biggie was told by the people who robbed him that Pac notified Jack about him
don't
warning
believe that
Pac. That's how Big knew that it was Haitian Jack's people who came after him.
Oh, nigga,
So Big was mad that Pac...
Who you telling shut the fuck up? Look, I'm gonna look you dead in the eye, boy. Real life, I would've beat your motherfucking ass. Don't let me goddamn act ignorant. Don't let this one contact fuel your ass. I will beat the fuck out your ass. And I ain't shutting the fuck up for shit. You can get your lame ass off this motherfucker. How about this shit?
Pac
Fuck
put
around
him
with you,
on
nigga.
blast. He told Sean that him and Zayd went
Give
to
a
the
fuck, I
Quad
owe you
Studios
50
the
or
morning
whatever,
after
fuck,
the
nigga. Get
shooting
your
to
ass
get
beat
the
the
gun
fuck
and the
up, nigga.
piano. He
What the
also
fuck what you
told
talking
him
about,
that they went to the hospital
Man,
to
get
see
your ass on
Pac,
my
but
shit.
they wouldn't let him in.
Lame
All his
ass nigga.
attempts of reaching Pac were denied.
So now, yeah.
And now Pac is supposedly spreading lies in the media and turning this whole thing into a beef. While Pac's
My bad,
Thug Life
Chet.
movement
You
came to
better
an
goddamn
end,
turn up, boy.
Biggie's Junior Mafia clique was just about to take over the game. They were still working on their upcoming album Conspiracy. Biggie continued to grow
Come on, shut the
commercially
fuck
and
up.
status-wise in
Who the fuck you talking like
'95,
that, boy? Nigga, you get your
releasing
ass
highly
whooped.
successful
I would've whooped the
singles
fuck
and
out your ass, boy.
remixes.
I beat
And he
niggas
was
up in
just
real
about
life.
to put out his Junior
What's wrong
Mafia
with
group
you?
album. This one was supposed to put on some of his people, including Little C's
Chat,
and
if
Lil
y'all don't like what I say, y'all can always leave. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. I'm riding with Pop regardless, nigga. Fuck y'all talking about. Cause ain't none motherfucking beat my motherfucking ass. I been had hands.
Pac cut ties with most of the people who were part of the Thug Life movement
You thought you
and
gonna come
left it
in.
all in the
What the
past.
fuck wrong with that nigga?
On April 26th,
y'all about to
Tupac's
get Thug Life
album
on his
Millions
ass
to
for
Work
real?
went platinum after just 1 month.
give
The
a
single
fuck what you
Dear
talking
Mama
about.
went platinum as well on July 13th. The album had sold 240,000 units in the first
My
week,
bad, let me read y'all
and
shit.
it
My
only
bad.
took an additional month for it to reach 1 million.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Ready
saying.
to
Look
Die,
at
on the
his
other
face and
hand,
every-
sold 57,000
PR
units
shit
in the
for
first
PR
week,
stunt.
and had reached the milestone of 1 million copies sold on March 14th, the same day Me Against the World came out. So Pac's album went platinum almost 6 times faster than Ready to Die, as it took Biggie half a year to finally reach 1 million sales.
He copied that shit
And
from
Big
Nas.
had already
The album
outsold
cover.
all of Pac's albums prior to Me Against the World. So these two were going head to head, with Pac being in the lead again. This was really a relief for him, as he was worried about getting left behind by Biggie, cause he would get closer and closer to Pac's record sales with the release of each single. Biggie had a platinum album out before Pac. Pac's first album to go platinum was a second one, It got certified on
Say
April
it,
19th, 1995,
Azana.
meaning a week before Me
What's
Against
up,
the
brother?
World.
How you doing?
So Pac had now 2 platinum albums. Big had the luxury of promoting his album
I
with
ain't gonna lie,
tons
this
of
motherfucker got me
remixes,
tight.
music
I ain't gonna lie.
videos, shows, interviews, and TV appearances, while Pac was locked up behind bars. All he could do is watch one of his own soldiers try to overtake him and take his spot in the game. Using his own success formula and blueprint,
Oh,
Big
shit, my
started
bad.
wearing clothes from luxury brands, like for example
9399.
Versace shades and
How you doing?
expensive clothes
I can't
that
say
you
your
would
name
see
right.
Tupac wear in
Pronounce that shit
94.
right.
He
Marcy?
would turn
Marcy?
more and more into a player.
He was our savior, man.
Marcy?
Big was like me.
You wasn't no
Dark,
goddamn
heavy.
savior. Stop lying.
You don't come up through the girl system with the girls being all over you.
Say, Kate
So
Fire, I
all he
appreciate
had
that.
was how sharp his lyrics could be, cut him through.
Pac felt like Big was living and rapping about
I'm
his
gonna
life,
ask y'all one question before I stop
saying
again.
that Big was never
Would y'all like me to do R&B too? I can be the goddamn ghetto unsung in this motherfucker, to be honest. Like, I want to do Casey and JoJo. What the fuck happened to them? I love Casey and JoJo, though.
a
That's like my
player
favorite R&B
until Pac
group, though.
showed him the
Nice.
way. So he wanted his props
Shit.
and at least a thank you. He also wanted
But
Puffy
that's what
to
basically
bail him
my
out.
shit gonna be about
He
90s
thought that
shit.
would be the least he
90s
could
and early
do after
2000s.
helping Biggie to become a superstar. In May 95, a
90s.
state judge
Who y'all wanna
knocked
see
down
first, though?
Pac's bail from $3 million to $1.4 million.
We do that motherfucker
So
tomorrow,
Pac
man.
got excited thinking that Puff and Big would bail him out and sign him to Bad Boy Records. But they didn't make a single step in his direction. Actually, the opposite happened. They got even closer
Yeah,
with
bro.
the mastermind
I
of the
get it
Quad
right, yup,
Studio
yup.
shooting, Jimmy Henchman. And Pac took that as them picking the side of his enemy and abandoning him.
I'm just saying,
'Cause
I'm
on
like,
May
why he didn't
2nd,
sign
which
him
was
Bad
about
Boy
half
then?
a year
You know what I'm
after
saying?
the
Why
Quad
he didn't
Studio
sign Pop the
incident,
Bad Boy?
Little Sean released the single Dom Perignon, which not only contains a Biggie sample in the hook, but he's also featured in the
I'm glad he
video
did, though.
next to people
No,
wearing
yeah.
henchman shirts. Biggie was celebrating with people wearing Jimmy
And
Henchman's
I've seen the
merchandise.
video. I never noticed that shit.
And Jimmy was managing Little Sean at the time. So Puff and Big made business with them. They were still cool with Jimmy after the shooting, which was one of the many reasons why Pac believed that Big might have been part of the setup. Pac was told that Jimmy Henchman was invited to numerous parties of Bad Boy Records,
Oh yeah, fast.
popping bottles with Biggie and Puffy.
I think he'd be
Why
big
would
like
you still be
he
cool
probably
with
like
him
big
when
like
Stretch
Michael
told
Jackson.
you
though.
about
If
Jimmy
Pop still
being
alive, he'd
behind
be
the
big
shooting?
like Michael Jackson.
I mean, Jimmy and his people were sending
He
his
was
mother
already
death
big.
threats.
I'm like big.
Puff himself
like,
said that he's not
Michael
beefing with
Jackson type
Pac,
shit.
but that Pac is beefing with someone else. And he knew exactly who he was beefing with. He knew that Pac and Jimmy were beefing, and he was totally fine with it. On May 30th, they then
bro.
released the song Players Anthem,
Dick sucking,
which was
bro.
the first single of the Junior Mafia album Conspiracy. And it became a hit, went gold on September 7th that year. And Pac was really bothered by Junior Mafia being more successful than his Thug Life movement. He would tell his homies from prison to shoot music videos without him to promote the album,
You right.
cause the album wasn't selling much, while Biggie's Junior
Facts.
Mafia was going gold. And it seemed like
I think
Biggie
Pac
had
seen
made a
through his
wise
ass, though,
decision to
yeah.
not join Thug
But
Life,
he was
but
telling
instead
Biggie to go
create
with
his
him,
own
though.
movement. And
But what am I
Pac was
saying? Hold on,
obviously
he probably
bothered
did,
by
but he
it.
was telling Biggie to goddamn
Then on
trust
June 6,
Diddy,
1995, Biggie
Biggie
released
didn't
the
trust,
One More Chance Stay With Me remix
Diddy
with
at
his
first.
wife Faith Evans, which peaked at
So,
number
I
2
don't know.
on the Billboard Hot 100 and topped the Hot
Allegedly.
R&B Hip Hop Songs
You know what I'm
chart.
saying? I don't
It
know,
was
I
the
wasn't there.
highest debuting single of
I gotta
all
say
time,
allegedly.
and went platinum in just a month, which made him appear on the cover of the Source magazine in July 95. And he got crowned the King of New
I ain't no
York.
goddamn faithfuls like
He
this,
was
bro.
Langston Hughes. He was Donald
found out about
Gomes.
Faith.
He was the
I thought she was
one.
a good Christian girl when I was
He
growing
was
up.
the
I
one.
didn't
He
know
had
she could
more than just
sing.
rap. He had the
Like
look.
Mariah Carey.
He had
Wasn't
the
her name Mariah
presence.
Carey? I thought she
He
was like
looked like
Mariah
a
Carey.
king.
This made
I didn't know
Tupac
she
very
was out there,
upset.
Her and Mary J.
He
Blige.
thought, how can
Oh,
you be the
Lord.
King of New York and not know who shot me? You had
Ain't
all
no
your
Mary J.
people
like
there
that,
and
bro.
had the building surrounded. Pac felt like as the King of New York, he should have been able to find out who did it. He was mad at him for not informing him. And even if he didn't know beforehand, Pac assumed that as the King of New York, his people have to have told him about the robbers and the mastermind behind the setup. Cause everyone
Talking about
who's
when he's in
lower in
jail
rank
or
is
before
giving
that?
him info. He is the guy everyone reaches out to when there's an issue. At least that's
mean,
what
going
Pac
jail,
thought
bro.
the King of New York title meant. And Big had all his people there. So as the King of New York, he must have heard about it. Somebody had to know something. Pac felt betrayed by his own soldiers. He expected Biggie to maybe not tell him who did it, but to help him find the people who are responsible for it, so that they can talk it out or settle it. Biggie was cool with Jimmy, but didn't reach out to Pac. At least not to talk about
I ain't
the
about to be
incident.
cool with somebody to say my
I just got
homeboy.
out of jail. It was like, just because I got shot on the East Coast, I'm like, East Coast, you know? Half the rappers from the East Coast was there when I got shot. Nobody knew a thing. That's just like you come into the hood, the police ask them what happened, and everybody's like, I don't know. You know they lying. And all I was doing was like, give me my proper etiquette. If Biggie was out here on the West Coast, he was in the studio with me, and we homeboys, and he got shot. No, I wouldn't tell him who did it, but I wouldn't go right on who did it, but he wanted to know who did it. And I'd be like, look, man, Watch did it. Boom, this is why they want to talk to you. Where. That's how I do it. Just like when the niggas from the 60s wanted to get a stretch. I went to them personally and talked to them.
Not only did Big become the King of New York, but
me
he
and Mike
also
Jackson about
made
to fall
an
out.
appearance on the
I ain't know
new
this
double
shit.
album of the King of Pop, Michael Jackson, which was released on June 20th. He rapped on the song This Time Around, which became one of the singers of the album. So the King
I
of
like Michael
Rap
Jackson
and
too.
the King of Pop on one song. That's how it was marketed. How did Big go from one of Tupac's soldiers trying to make a name for himself to being on a
What the fuck is
song
it?
with the King of Pop?
I'm about to say, I thought that shit said pervert. I ain't gonna lie.
In just 1 year,
Biggie had his foot on everybody's necks from a musical standpoint. We needed him, and he had the game in the chokehold.
Stop the
He was telling our story, he was telling it in a way that was super clear. Like the angst and the frustration, in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Like, just change your life.
Pac became bitter and thought that he would end up like the rap legend Slick Rick, who had to spend 5 years in prison, which slowed down and ruined his career.
Okay.
Everyone who was inspired by him and everyone who was around him, all his homies, partners, and underlings, continued to grow using Slick Rick's name, while he himself, as one of the biggest faces of the 80s, started to disappear into
I gotta
the
get more
abyss of
into Slick
irrelevance.
Rick though. I never.
Pac was afraid that the same thing would happen to him.
I thought I know one
he
song
was
about Slick
facing
Rick.
1.5 to 4.5 years. He was afraid that Biggie and Stretch, all the people he helped to become famous, would use him as a stepping stone and outgrow him, while also using his name, style, ideas, and sound to get on top. All while Pac's career is at a halt. Cause Pac was really the one that made everything possible for them. With him being a movie star and successful rapper, someone that was generous enough to give all his homies a platform. And he felt like Stretch and Big were ungrateful, as they wouldn't even pay him a visit while he was locked up. He sent Biggie a message to meet him in prison, so that they can talk about who shot him. But Big never came. He kept sending him messages instead, while also shouting him out on the radio. In the interview with Sway, Pac explained how he felt about it.
I gotta put me on, man.
I'm like, yo, what happened?
Who
I
else?
see you in jail. Biggie all in the air talking about, yeah, Pac is my homeboy, but not seeing you. My homeboy Stretch is going to Biggie's concerts. This is like abandoning me. But all in the air and on TV, they like, yeah, Pac, rest, keep the struggle on. I was like, yo, I'm starting to turn into like Slick Rick. This is just gonna act like I'm gonna just be in jail and they're gonna give me shout outs and try to take my position. And if you watch, that's what Biggie did.
He also talked about it in the 96 Vibe interview.
Study Why would be mad. Study Why would be mad.
Talk
when
your
half
shit,
of New
Twin.
York, half of the major New York rappers, or they managers, or they agents, or they somebody was there when I got shot, and nobody could give me no information. Just study that.
On July 10th, Puffy, Andre Harrell, Jimmy Henchman, Stretch, Lil Sean, the assault victim Ayanna Jackson, and
What the fuck happened to her?
Biggie all
Where she
sent
at?
letters to the
We
Vibe
need her testified
magazine
too.
in response to Tupac's comments in the April 95 issue. It seemed like they were moving as a
Yo, he
unit,
supposed to be thug like, but I
all on the
think
same
Diddy got in
team
his head
against
though.
Pac. Cause Vibe
So he
put
wanted to
all their
sound bad, boy.
statements in the August 95 issue with the headline
Which he should have
Tupac Under
did.
Fire,
Man, we had
the
so
saga
much. I would have
continues.
had so much good music.
Tupac
bro.
versus
word.
everyone that
But
was
y'all gotta
there
give
during the
music, bro.
shooting.
They
They were
both of them
baiting
on the
him.
album?
Pac spoke on this in the 96 Vibe interview.
Them cowards waited about 4 issues before they got their story together. 4 issues later, half of New Yorkers commenting on me getting shot. And before, they was all like, we didn't see nothing.
Everybody that was involved knows what happened. And everything is there. If you got a brain, just read everything over. And read my reply, read their reply, read what people say. Watch people. Because you can fake for a long time, but one day, you're going to show yourself to be a phony.
He found it odd how they all phrased their letters in a similar way as Jimmy Henchman, using the same phrases, words, and ways to ridicule him.
So y'all think he alive or dead?
Chat together
We need to go ahead and
after
get this
the
show
shooting,
over with. Y'all think he
and
alive
thought
or
of
dead?
a smart way
Right,
to
right.
respond to Tupac's accusations. Even Biggie used the same words as him to describe Tupac's behavior at the Quad Studios. And Big wasn't even there at the 8th floor. He still said that he was acting like he's in a movie, being over-dramatic after the shooting. The same descriptions.
This whole
He
interview,
couldn't have
Biggie don't got a
possibly
mind
seen
his
Tupac's
own
reaction
at
after
this
the
damn
shooting.
point. Like, bitch,
All he saw was him getting carried into an ambulance.
you don't got a mind
Everything
in your own.
else
You just listen
came
to what
from
everybody
different
else say.
sources.
You ain't got a mind in your own.
Biggie just repeated the same words Puffy, Andre Harrell, and Jimmy Henchman used to describe Pac's behavior. Because they were the ones saying that Pac went into movie mode after getting shot. They downplayed everything and ridiculed him. Jimmy Henchman even said he's believing
Appreciate
the
the
movie
lights, y'all.
scripts that
24
he's
lights on
playing.
the screen. I appreciate that.
Biggie, on the other hand, said everything was a movie to him. And Big wasn't even there. He just repeated Jimmy Henchman's statements.
The 4th issue, when they came back with a reply, everybody knew what I did. They knew what I said. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times and acts?
Fast. That
Puffy
shit don't
and
even make
Andre
sense.
Harrell said the same thing. But Big's statements upset him the most, because he was on the same page as Jimmy Henchman. Prior to the release of this article, Pac had announced that he's done with
That's why I
hip-hop.
think he's guilty.
He wanted to stop rapping.
He guilty.
But these statements in the magazine really convinced him to team up with Death Row after
Why you had to
initially
say that,
refusing
Big
Suge's
V?
offer to join the
Shut your
label
ass up.
before getting locked up. Cause Suge wanted Pac
He didn't
on
say
the
that,
label
did?
since
Probably
93,
goddamn, you know what
but
I'm saying?
things didn't work
When it went
out,
to Death Row.
even though they would continue to do business
You know,
together.
they made some banger-ass
like
music,
Pac
though.
appearing
But
on Death
he
Row
went with Death Row.
soundtracks or doing remixes together. But let's take a look at some of the comments in the article. In response to Pac saying that nobody tried to help him after he got shot, Puffy said, "Nobody turned their backs on him.
Then this motherfucker
People
gonna say
was
this.
all up on him. Immediately. Andre was like, oh my god, call the ambulance. Tupac wanted to go to the phone. So me and my man Groovy Lou was by his side, trying to hold him up, getting him to calm down. He was telling Groovy Lou to roll him a blunt. He definitely brought the theatrics to it." So Puff was basically saying that Pac was acting, being
trust a nigga
over-dramatic
with
and
shade.
lying in the interview,
Can't trust a
using
motherfucker
the
with
same
shade, bro.
angle as Jimmy Henchman and Biggie. Then he continued saying he got a lot of people in a lot of BS with that interview.
Appreciate y'all heart
The
and
way
live,
it
though.
was written,
Appreciate y'all.
it was open-ended. Like me and Big and Andre had something to do with it. I would never, ever purposefully try to hurt no next man. The man had his own beef with people. I never had no beef with that man. This right here is proof that Puffy knew that the Quad Studio incident
know this
was
shit
not
mean,
just a
right?
random robbery
Chat, y'all
and
know
a
what that mean?
coincidence with Pac being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I'm trying
With
to see how
robbers
deep.
going at a random
Let's see how
target.
deep y'all is.
This was a setup and planned attack.
Stay woke,
He
bro.
said the man had his own beef with people. So, according to Puff, the shooting was a result of a beef with a certain someone. So he just exposed himself. Cause he's still hanging out and teaming up with the same person that set him up. Again, what led to the robbery was Pac's beef with Haitian Jack and Jimmy Henchman. Jimmy hired the 3 robbers to go at him. And Puff
What was the
continued
movie with
working and
Tupac
being
in with
cool with Jimmy,
the
even
eye patch?
after writing
I ain't
his
watched
letter,
that movie, Pop. I didn't
admitting
find-
that it
what's
was
the name
because
of
of
that
the
movie?
beef with Jimmy Henchman.
I'm gonna
Puff
watch
did
that on
not
Twitch
distance himself
with
from
y'all.
him, nor did he show sympathy or loyalty to Pac.
I was
Neither did he
gonna
reach
do a
out to
Machiavelli
Pac
day
to
where we watch
confirm
all
who
the
did it.
Tupac movies.
So he wasn't just an innocent bystander who wants justice to be served. He didn't care about any of that.
Yep,
And he
he sure
wouldn't have
did.
ever
Sure
made a
did.
step towards Pac in an attempt to help him get his
When
justice.
he first got shot, yeah.
Instead, he continued showing support to Jimmy. So people should stop acting like Tupac had no reason to see Puffy as his enemy. With the robber Dexter Isaacs saying that Puffy knew about the plan before the robbery happened, and Puff making this statement in the Vibe magazine, we have
Why y'all
more
can't
than
come
enough
to the court
reason
and
to
confess
think
this
that
shit?
Pac's
That would
worries,
piss me
suspicions,
off,
and
like, man.
accusations were justifiable. Because everyone tried to make it seem like Pac lost his mind.
They probably ain't got enough money.
People also say that this was a New York thing. The unwritten
Come on, which
rule
one?
to not snitch on people. Even if the
a good
information
movie?
is
Okay.
not given to the police, but to your
All
own
Eyes
friends.
on Me a good movie too?
People from New York
Everybody say that.
excused
I'm
Puff
getting
and
mixed
Big's
emotions about that
behavior,
movie.
saying that what they did
I
was
ain't seen
normal.
that one.
And that Pac didn't know about this no snitching rule, as he didn't grow up in New York and wasn't really accustomed to the culture there. So once again, a coastal thing. Pac explained that if he was in Puff or Big's shoes, he would have offered to arrange a meeting between the victim and the perpetrator, meaning the guy that got shot and the guy who set him up. And he thought that was the right thing to do for them. But people have said that that's not a common thing to do on the East Coast, that it's more of a West Coast thing. On the East Coast, people try to stay out of it and shut up about it. At least that's how the people around Biggie explained it. And Pac had no clue. It must have been a culture shock to him. In response to Pac saying that Thug Life is dead, Puffy said, I really hope that this Thug Life ish is really over. But on the real, if you're gonna be a mother effing thug, you got to live and die a thug. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no jumping in and out of thugism. If that's what you choose to do, you got to go out like that. I ain't no thug. Only thugs I know is dead or in jail. Or about to be.
So yes, I did say Thug Life was dead. Yes, I bowed out, all of that. But when they said that, they breathed new life in me. And Thug Life not only became a rap group, but it became a way of life for life for me.
But I think he laid the blueprint in his music.
To what Jimmy Henchman said. Where he went wrong was when he tried to go to the streets.
He put that shit in music, make
and
sure
when
this
it came
shit
down
one
to
day
the
gonna be
test,
solved.
he did not hold up. He's gonna assassinate people's character, saying that people was crying and falling to the floor like a sack of potatoes. It just goes to show that the real coward and the real guy that was crying was Tupac. So Jimmy was defending Stretch. Because the part about dropping like a sack of potatoes was a comment that Pac made to belittle his friend Stretch. And Jimmy is the same guy that used Stretch to send Pac threats, calling his mother to intimidate him. But now it seemed like Jimmy and Stretch are on the same page, coming together to comment about Pac. And he took it as Stretch joining the people who set him up. The robber Dexter Isaacs suggested that Stretch sent Jimmy messages to inform him about Tupac's whereabouts while they were on their way to the...
For y'all don't like me talking during the video, here go the video for you. Here go the video called. You see it right? Hip Hop Universe. Tupac versus Notorious B.I.G. You know what I'm saying? You can leave and go watch your damn self. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to. Thank you.
Quad Studios. But Stretch's brother Majesty denied it and said that they never had anything
act like a nigga
to do
today.
with
I would act like a nigga on y'all
made
niggas.
similar comments as Puffy and Jimmy as well.
Ass questions. It's a
Pac
stream,
was talking
dumbass.
all that ish
Like,
about
damn.
Thug Life is ignorance and telling people names and all that ish.
Who the fuck don't
I
talk
don't
in the
even
stream?
understand why he went there. I've seen Pac mad times after the shooting, and he never kicked none of that ish to me.
Fast.
You know how he feels about the media. So why would he go and do an interview like that? He's supposed to be a street guy. He should have kept it in the streets. I mean, people had to go and get their names changed.
Ooh, that's my shit right there.
I want him to get a reality check. Recognize what the F he's doing.
What's your favorite
People
song?
on the
Tupac
street live by rules, man. And that rule right there, that's the rule that's never to be broken. The fallout between the two officially happened after Tupac made those statements in that Vibe magazine interview. Stretch got mad at Pac for saying that he and the other two people that were with him dropped like a sack of potatoes when they got ambushed, even though Stretch is 6'8", the tallest guy that was present that night, quote-unquote towering over them. Pac was expecting the robbers to go directly at Stretch, since they usually go for the big guy, but they went for Pac instead, and Stretch followed their orders, instead of fighting back or helping Tupac to shoot them. Pac saying all this ish in the interview like, I thought that Stretch was gonna fight. He was towering over them. Now that guy know I ain't never going out like no bee. But I ain't dumb. I ain't got no gun. What the F am I supposed to do? I might be towering over them, but I ain't towering over no slugs. Tupac got shot trying to go for his ish. He tried to go for his gun and he made a mistake on his own. But I'll let him tell the world that. I ain't even going to get into it all like that. Pac's talking about people dropping like a sack of potatoes. How the F is he going to know if people dropped like a sack of potatoes if he was turned around to get his joints? He tried to turn around and pull the joint out.
I'm gonna tell y'all in a minute with my two favorite songs. I've been bumming. Like,
grabbed his
hard.
hand when it was by his waist. Me personally,
three.
I
like
only
ghetto
heard one
gospel
shot.
too. That's my shit too.
I didn't hear 4 or 5, 6 shots.
Gospel.
And he was saying he got shot 3, 4 times. None of us
Him
remember hearing 4 or 5 shots. When the shot went
Me and my
off,
girlfriend, I been
that's
bumping
when
them
we went
motherfuckers
down.
back to back.
Oh, I didn't get shot 5 times in their vision. I only got shot once because they found the bullet. So what is this other shit in me then? What was the doctors talking about? How'd I get gunpowder all over me?
They got different accounts of what happened, and I'm the one with the bullet wounds. Think back. Did you think about all the people that you've seen me put on stage? Think about all the people that I put on, that I got into this game, that I showed how to do this. And think about what they're saying now. That's not keeping it real.
So Stretch was upset when he read the interview, and Biggie felt the same way. In the Vibe article, he said, "When I read the interview, I felt like he was just ishing on everybody. I always said that he was the realest guy in the game."
Oh, you know he felt, man. Hell yeah.
I want to apologize.
Hell yeah.
Especially when I found out what really went down. He shot himself. And he really get shot in the head. He got pistol whipped. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing all this, and I'm like, damn. I think I was just getting a little bit too happy with the situation. Trying to make movies. Everything was a movie to him.
I figured that with the ish he was talking in the Vibe, he was just confused more than anything. You get shot and then you go to jail for something
What the fuck
you
they keep
ain't
getting in
do.
movie shit? Ah, it's a
That
little
could
fucking movie.
twist
I
the
got
guy's
shot,
mind up.
motherfucker.
People saying I set him up and I'm the one that got him shot. They're saying that my record Who Shot Ya is about him. That ish is crazy. That song was finished way before Tupac got shot. People was taking little pieces of the song and trying to add it to the story. And that ish is crazy. Other people look at the Vibe piece like, damn, Little Caesar was on the terrace. He must have been the lookout man. And it's real people in the streets thinking,
We need a new album.
That's effed up, what Big did to Tupac.
I don't know about y'all.
I think
We need a
that
new
should
album.
be
Drop
erased.
2026.
Never ever in life.
What's his state
As
doing?
far as
We
with
need a new
me,
album.
he always gonna be my man. Even when I go see him again. But he need to just check himself.
Oh, I never heard Watch Your Mouth.
And I want an apology.
That one dope.
Because I don't get down like
Might
that.
listen to it. What album that
Stretch
on?
said some positive things about Pac too. Me and Pac have been
Same
down
thing.
from
I'm
day
gonna pull
one.
that bitch up. Crazy,
Before he
yeah.
did Juice. Before his first album. That's my man. So the interview he did in Vibe bugged me out. But I know him. He likes to talk a lot. Especially when he's upset. He'll say ish that he won't even mean. And then he'll think about it later and be like,
I just got into Machiavelli.
"Damn, why the F did I say that?" Tupac also spoke about the Vibe article with Sway in '96.
What made me do the Death Row thing, because I was really going to quit rapping. But then Puffy and Biggie and all of them came out in the Vibe, and they lied, and they twisted the facts. And all I wanted to do was end everything and walk away from shit. You know what I mean? Like how Scarface and all them. Dude, I want to get out the game. I go to jail for a crime. Everybody know I did not commit. Get shot 5 times, and I'm getting in jail, wompty, wompty. They just say anything to assassinate my character. I'm trying to get out the game. They want to dirty up my memory. They want to dirty up everything I worked for. So it made me come back. Instead of quitting, it made me come back more relentless to destroy my...
Oh, we talking about Winnie Winnie? Oh, yeah. I gotta listen to
to
it.
destroy what used to be my homeboys, what I worked for, my closest clique.
They disrespected me, my name, my family, what I had been through. They said that I couldn't be in pain. I could not feel. I could not be hurt.
Big and Stretch said that they want to meet him and talk it out. But during the entirety of those 8 months
I'm about to
Pac
find
was in
that song. I
prison,
know you lying.
they never paid him a visit, even though he supposedly told family members and friends to inform those two about his request to talk to them. But they were instead going to parties together. Pac was hurt and disappointed. Majesty later clarified that the reason why they couldn't visit Pac in prison was because he and his brother had no ID. And with no ID, you're not allowed to visit people in prison. Pac, of course, didn't know that, and thought that they're purposefully abandoning him. All he knew is that Stretch was pretending to talk to him in prison so that he can hit on Pac's ex-girlfriend Desiree Smith.
I used to be scared of that song though. I ain't gonna count no look. I used to hear that shit. That shit used to make me scared.
He Stretch her number in hope that it would reach
I don't know
Pac.
about y'all.
According to Desiree, Big Stretch called her saying he had a message from Pac, as if he went to prison and spoke to him, even though he never reached out to him while he was locked up. Stretch then turned up at her place with people from Junior Mafia and Bedford Avenue. He tried to sweet-talk her, and she later told Pac that he tried to sleep with her, after delivering no message from him.
So he ain't have kids.
With everything she was hearing about Pac, thinking that
Biggie
Biggie had something to do with the Quad Studio incident, she thought it was fishy that Stretch would be hanging out with Biggie's crew. She then contacted Pac by the way of letters saying, "This your boy. What's he doing with your enemy's peoples? And why he trying to holler?
It's a mixtape from
Stretch hung out with Biggie all the time.
Can I find on live
Just like
mixtape?
Jimmy Henchman, he was invited to numerous bad boy parties. They would always hang out together and make fun of Pac for shooting himself, saying that it was Pac's overreaction that got him hurt, that there was only one shot, which actually came from his own gun. And Biggie told him that he now understood why they hid the gun in the piano. And Biggie was holding on to Pac's gun. He still had it and was hiding it from the police. So they were joking around that Pac was hiding the truth, that he was in movie mode and spreading lies. Majesty said that they wanted to visit Pac in prison to argue with him and to address some of the things he said in the Vibe magazine about him dropping like a sack of potatoes. But unfortunately, he couldn't. The whole time, Stretch thought that everything was fine between him and Big. So when Pac said Stretch switched sides, that's what he meant. After the Quad Studio shooting, Stretch got closer to everyone that was present that night, except Tupac. He didn't speak to Pac while he was in prison, but Pac apparently still spoke to Big after the shooting. And that's why Stretch thought that everything was fine. He didn't even know that Pac had changed his mind about the bad boy camp until he read about it in the Vibe magazine. So he just continued being cool with them, thinking...
I know they got a song called Juice, Tupac featuring Big L and Big Pun. Y'all heard it? I ain't know Big. I thought Fat Joe didn't like they were dissing Tupac. Hold on, they confused the fuck out of me now.
Big is still cool with Pac, but they continued giving Tupac shout-outs here and there, even if they never came to visit him in prison. Like, for example, in the 19th issue of the Canadian magazine Peace, where Biggie was interviewed and asked to rate rappers on a scale from 1 to 10.
Tupac version
This
T.I.
came
and
out
Juvenile.
right around the time he made those disrespectful comments about him in the Vibe magazine, calling him an actor and a liar. Pac get busy. People can't take nothing from him. On the lyrics, he get busy. Straight up. That guy got some hard-ish, dog for real. And it's like the sad thing about it. When he started working on his new album he's got now, Out on Bail, he had so many raw East Coast producers in ish. Big is talking about the Me Against the World album, which was called Out on Bail during earlier stages of the recording. So this was an old interview from 1994. But they published it a whole year later, which made it seem like Big is giving Pac a shout-out in the middle of their beef, after the whole back and forth in the Vibe magazine. The ish was sounding real tight, because everybody always says Pac had lyrics, but his beats was whack. He was up in New York when he was working on Above the Rim ish, and he was working on his album at the same time. I put him on to Moby, I put him on to LG. He has action, special ads DJ. He had some hard ish. He went back to the West and just started getting back into that other ish. Pac found it weird how they would continue giving him shoutouts while at the same time trying to destroy his image, painting him as a liar and actor in the Vibe magazine, while also not coming to speak to him face to face. So the lack of communication between both sides caused Pac to assume the worst and create this false image in his head that Stretch and Big were his enemies, when in reality everything was a misunderstanding.
I got on my short
about Big's involvement. But Puffy was definitely informed about it. And Big would have always...
I'm gonna see if I can find it. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick for y'all. Hope I don't get copyright. Damn, why the fuck did I exit out of that one? I'm tripping.
Suspicious.
I'm about to find it. I got it on my page though. We're gonna do it for Big Run. Damn, I got a lot of videos here. I gotta find it. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Like, look at this shit.
You're Biggie. We're a little too close.
Can y'all see it? Look.
And next question is.
Oh, hell no.
You're Biggie. We're a little too close.
Hey, boy, hell nah to it. You rubbing on the girl, man. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Hell nah to it. Them motherfuckers love us. Hell nah. Let me see if I can find that shit. I'm gonna find it for a bit, and then we'll get back on the video. No, I posted a while ago. I got so many damn videos. Y'all see Biggie, let me know. I might have passed it. Was it this one? Biggie did snap on it? No, ain't it. Now, where the fuck is this video at? Keep your head up. Ooh, I spoiled that nigga. Though. Ain't gonna care. Hell, I'm gonna read y'all message. Shout out to Easy. He killed Dr. Dre and them on that goddamn song. I ain't gonna lie. I might have passed it though. Now what if? Yep, I passed it. Okay, that was like one of my fucking viral videos. Why did it go? I'm tripping. Why did it go to top videos, bro? I'm tripping, bro. I had this stupid fuck.
For her father.
Nope, that ain't it. Where's my top lives at? There you go, popular. Where is that? I ain't gonna lie, you snapped on that damn shit. I ain't gonna play it because I know it's copyrighted. Well, I can play it though, it's on YouTube, shit. Just kill me? Oh shit. Hold on, I gotta find it, bro. Big Ron, you got me looking for this motherfucking shit. I forgot what the fuck I had it at. Oh, never mind, I got took down. I forgot. Never mind, I forgot about that shit. Never mind, I forgot it got took down. Nah, matter of fact, I can type that shit in. It was on my page, but the owner, I got too many views, and he got down. Delete the video. I can type that shit in. They took my shit down. Here you go.
The day I found out.
This is the original Mississippi dude.
Remember rapping Duke? The hard, you never thought that hip hop would take it this far.
The day.
His shit was in 93. His shit was in 94. Okay, damn, I'll get back to the video. Hello. There we go.
She then found out that the two had been sleeping together every time he went out to record music late at night.
Yep,
also during the Junior Mafia tour, basically during the entirety of their marriage. And Lil Kim would always pretend to be something like his sister to her.
I just did a stream of
Biggie also had a rapper named Charlie Baltimore as his mistress. He had multiple women on the side and had become the player he claimed to be in his lyrics. Faith then confronted him at the Millennium Hotel in Times Square, asking, "What is up with you and Kim?" Big was honest and said,
that nigga suspect, bro.
"Yeah, we get down like that." He didn't deny it. "All this time? You've been effing this girl all this time?" "Yeah," Biggie said. Faith appreciated his honesty and they slept together that same night. He had no other option but to join the label. He was filled with anger, rage, like a sack of potatoes. But unfortunately, he couldn't. The whole time, Stretch thought that everything was fine between him and Big. So when Pac said, "Stretch switched sides," that's what he meant.
So I found that shit out. That made me start like Biggie, man. I said, damn, I thought he write his own raps
everyone
and
that was
everything,
present
bro.
that night,
You know what I'm saying?
except Tupac. He didn't speak to Pac while he was in prison.
It can't never
But
be
Pac apparently still spoke to Big
bro.
after the shooting. And that's why Stretch thought that everything was fine. He didn't even know that Pac had changed his mind about the Bad Boy Camp until he read about it in the Vibe magazine. So he just continued being cool with them, thinking Big is still cool with Pac. But they continued giving Tupac shoutouts here and there, even if they never came to visit him in prison. Like for example in the 19th issue of the Canadian magazine Peace, where Biggie was interviewed and asked to rate rappers on a scale from 1 to 10. This came out right around the time he made those disrespectful comments about him in the Vibe magazine, calling him an actor and a liar.
Oh, I went
Pac
back
get
too far?
busy. People can't
This
take
ain't
nothing
it?
from him.
We went right here?
On the lyrics, he get busy. Straight up. That guy got some hard-ish. Dog for real.
Word.
And it's like the sad thing about it. When he started working on his new album he's got now,
He was
Out
on
on
them
Bail,
next, bro. I
he
ain't
had
gonna
so
count.
many raw East Coast producers in ish. Big is talking about the Me Against the World album, which was called Out on Bail during earlier stages of the recording. So this was an old interview from
Matter of fact, that is.
1994.
They say goddamn Suge poisoned him with AIDS. And Craig Mack got poisoned with the same thing from Diddy too. You know what I'm saying?
But
Hello.
they published it a whole year later, which made it seem like Big is giving Pac a shout out
no?
in the middle of their beef, after the whole back and forth in the Vibe
Who is
magazine. The ish was sounding real tight, cause everybody always says Pac had lyrics but his beats was whack.
Oh yeah.
He was
we were yeah.
all of them. Meanwhile, Suge Knight, the co-owner
right here,
of
right?
the record company Death Row Records, went through his own share of problems with Puffy and Bad Boy. He used to look out for Puff in the early 90s, when he was just an A&R at Uptown Records. And even after starting his own record company, Suge helped Puff wherever he could, most of the time for free. Puffy
Okay.
used to
So y'all
come
wanna
out to
do the
California,
NWA
and
tomorrow?
Suge used to look out for him
Easy versus
for
Death
free,
Row.
as Puff couldn't afford security at the time. But now, Big was starting to take over the game, and Bad Boy became a $1 million company. Biggie was one of Suge's
Thank
favorite
you, she
rappers.
put me back on the right
He
track.
wanted him to perform at a location he was promoting. But Puffy expected Suge to pay money for it, even though Suge had always looked out for him
Rest
for
in peace.
years,
Rest in peace, bro.
done everything
That
for
motherfucker.
free. Puffy
Sing
didn't
like a
care
motherfucker.
and refused to do it for free. Biggie was killing it at the time. The Source magazine had crowned him the King of New York, and the West Coast didn't really have an artist that was on his level at the time. They had no one to compete with him. And there was a lot of pressure at the time, with everyone saying that the East Coast is taking over. Dre just came out of jail and had to start from scratch. He was starting to work on his new album but lost
said
his
Big
loyal
Pun with
ghostwriter,
that
the
beat. I got his
DOC,
music.
who had just left the label for not getting paid enough.
Look.
And Dre
Why stop?
had
My bad, y'all. I don't mean to stop. Look, I don't know if you never did a song. I'm talking about. Hold on, I'm gonna show y'all this shit, bro. It's on me. My live mix say it's a Tupac. Hold on, here you go. Is this? Hold on, y'all can see. You're right. I was just looking through that shit. I didn't know he had a song. It's a. Can y'all see that? Damn, hold on. I ain't gonna play it. Who was Big L? Who is Big L? Y'all know who Big L is? I'm gonna listen to that shit. I think they just got like a verse from Tupac after he died or some shit like that. Some shit like that. Hold on. It's called. Can y'all see? Y'all see it? I'm gonna listen to it off stream. I ain't gonna cap.
to cancel his collab album with Ice Cube called Helter Skelter. So now they were left with nothing. Snoop Dogg didn't have anything in the vault that's worth releasing.
Cause they got
and it was clear that the Dog Pound album they were working on at the time wouldn't come anywhere near the Chronic, Doggy Style, or Ready to Die. So Death Row, the face of the West Coast, had nothing, while Big is breaking one record after another, winning all the awards, doing group albums, doing remixes that are topping the charts, being on the cover of every magazine, all while the people from Death Row were going through all the legal problems with Snoop's murder case and Dr. Dre's house arrest. Biggie and Puffy were taking over and Suge Knight got jealous.
Better than Biggie.
And he also felt like Puffy did him dirty. He was mad at him.
Big L.
He knew that Dre and Snoop, who were currently the main artists on Death Row, weren't on Biggie's level at the time, at least rapping-wise. So Suge was looking for someone new, a rapper that could outperform and outshine Biggie and Bad Boy, so that Suge can get his revenge and continue looking down on Puff. It was all ego. The rapper Suge was looking for was Tupac, who was currently in prison. He wanted to teach Puff a lesson. So he got in touch with Pac, and together they exchanged their frustrations and hatred for Biggie and Puffy. They were now in the same boat, had the same motives, the same mindset, the same enemies, the same level of hatred for them.
Oh, that's who they were showing
the two
earlier.
already knew each other through their collaborations prior to Pac's incarceration. the Death Row record deal Pac almost signed in '93 before deciding against it, and its appearance on various Death Row soundtracks, like Above the Rim for example, and also Murder Was the Case, although they ultimately left his song off the album. They paid him regardless, knowing that Pac is short on money because of all the legal problems. So Suge always loved Pac, who on the other hand tried to keep a healthy distance from them, as he knew that they meant trouble. Pac and Death Row were like fire and gasoline, a dangerous combination. But with him being locked up, potentially for the next 4+ years, he had no other option but to join the label. He was filled with anger, rage and hatred, and quote-unquote sold his soul to the devil by signing to Suge Knight, the tyrant of the rap industry, who wanted to bail him out and give him a 3-album contract.
What you tell him? I take it 50-50. I give 50-50. Some true, some might don't be true.
Together they thought of a plan to destroy all their enemies on the East Coast. Pac was on board, and Suge wanted to end Puffy's career by all means necessary. He wanted to destroy the label Bad Boy and replace it with the new label branch Death Row East as the face of East Coast hip-hop. He wanted to sign all the artists that Puffy was working with, including Biggie, after humbling him and giving him no other option but to come to Death Row. The plan was to sign all the big talents on the East Coast, so that Puffy had no superstar to work with anymore. That's why at the '95 Source Awards, which took place on August 3rd, Suge went on stage and dissed Puffy by inviting artists from all around the world to join his label, while saying that they don't have to tolerate a guy like Puffy dancing in their videos and ad-libbing every single one of their songs.
That's crazy. I need to listen to Dog Pound, y'all.
Artists that want to stay a star, don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be
all in the videos,
all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
Puffy was sitting in the audience when Suge made those comments. This was really the first time he made the beef public, by ridiculing him on stage and taking the legendary Bad Boy and Death Row rivalry to the next level. He even shouted out Tupac, indirectly announcing that he'll become a member of the Death Row family. That same night, Biggie once again proved to everyone that he's a problem. He won 4 awards in just one night: New Solo Artist, Lyricist, Live Performer and Album of the Year. A year prior, the West Coast had dominated the Source Awards, with Dre and Snoop winning in most categories. But this year, Biggie stole the show. He was the biggest thing in hip-hop. So Suge once again got jealous. Puffy was once again feeling himself with Biggie being on par with the entire Death Row label, because he was getting the same amount of awards as the entire Death Row family combined. And that really bothered him, which is why Suge made those comments out of nowhere.
Most of the Tupac shit too.
I couldn't believe what he said. I thought we was boys, Puffy said. He later came on stage and responded to those comments while also speaking about the East-West war.
I'm the executive producer that a comment was made about a little bit earlier. But check this out, contrary to what other people may feel, I would like to say that I'm very proud of Dr. Dre, of Death Row, and Suge Knight for their accomplishments. And all this East and West that needs to stop.
The East-West conflict wasn't anything new, but this incident made everything worse. Suge's words spread like flu germs, reigniting ancient East-West hostilities. Biggie being the winner of the night infuriated everyone from Death Row. The people from the East Coast started booing them every time they went on stage, to the point that Snoop Dogg had to speak up.
The East Coast don't love Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg.
This is the only time I seen Snoop Dogg try to be hard.
The East Coast ain't got
right
no
here.
love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Death Row. Y'all don't love us.
We was that damn energy with Pop going war with goddamn.
They went through similar problems a year prior, cause the East Coast crowd was upset about Dre and Snoop winning all the awards. That was the same award show where Tupac rushed the stage in the middle of the A Tribe Called Quest victory speech. He rapped the song out on bail with dozens of his homies on stage, making Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest cry and pissing off the East Coast audience.
He did the whole album. Okay.
New Yorkers felt disrespected by Pac interrupting their speech, because they were just giving a shout out to all the pioneers of hip-hop. And it seemed like he did it on purpose. Not only that, but the East Coast audience was upset about the West Coast rappers winning more awards than East Coast rappers.
So that's why that's why Daz and Snoop Dogg beefing right now? Even though they could, I think they cousins. I think they beefing on the rights of that shit, I think.
There were arguments going on behind the scenes, and rappers from the West Coast didn't feel accepted in New York. And this only got worse a year later in 95.
If it's Snoop Dogg
and
on
things
Death
got
Row,
worse
so he
behind
on
the
the rights
scenes.
of this shit, right?
More specifically, after the award show. Suge Knight supposedly slept with Puffy's baby mama Misa Hilton that same night, trying to piss him off even more.
Damn, y'all don't put me on
He
some
would
new
always
people.
go to all of
I need some new
Puffy's and
music
Biggie's
too.
shows together with his people, trying to intimidate him, showing off his Ma Peru gang ties in an attempt to humble him. Puffy then realized that it was too dangerous for him to come to LA. Not doing shows and promoting his music on the West Coast would once again slow down his money, so avoiding the West Coast was not an option. He saw how Suge always had about 50 to 100 gang members with him, wherever he went,
Man, why you need 50
ready to
people?
go to war on his command. Flying to
like being around
LA
niggas
with a
like that,
security
fuck that.
team of 50 men, 50 bodyguards wasn't an option, because it was way too expensive. It wouldn't have even been worth doing all the shows in LA if the costs are that high. So he was forced to do what Suge was doing the whole time. Get close with one of the biggest gangs in LA to get their support. That was the cheapest and most efficient option for him. Puffy thought it was a smart move for him to get in touch with the Crips, especially with the Southsiders. They had a history with Suge's Ma Peru. They were enemies. With the help of his good friend Eric Von Zip, Puffy got in touch with the Southside Crip Keefe D, the guy who was in the Cadillac the day Tupac got shot and killed. Keefe D and the Southsiders were now accompanying Puffy and the Bad Boy staff every time they came to the West Coast. They became his personal security, and were 20 to 40 deep at all the shows,
damn,
trying to keep Suge's Ma Peru in check. Puffy pitted them against each other, so that there is a West Coast internal conflict in the middle of the East-West war. More on this
I
in
believe,
my
I believe
Tupac
that right
murder
up there.
documentary.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't know about
On
y'all.
August 15th, Tupac
believe
wrote a
Puffy did
letter
do
to
that.
his ex-girlfriend Desiree Smith while he was in prison, telling her about his divorce from his wife Keisha after being married to her for 3.5 months. Cause Pac had gotten married while he was in prison, but it unfortunately didn't work out. At the bottom of the letter he wrote, "Be careful, The Walking Dead. Jack Agnance, rest in peace. Todd, rest in peace. Jimmy Ace, rest in peace." Those are the people Pac thought were responsible for the Quad Studio shooting. Haitian Jack, King Tut, who he thought was one of the shooters, and Jimmy Henchman. He also wrote Bad Boy Killer at the bottom right, sharing his plans of wanting to destroy Puffy's label Bad Boy Records. He put everyone that was present at the Quad Studios on the hit list. Not only them, but also everyone that was involved in the Ayanna Jackson assault case, and also the ones that were part of the Bad Boy camp. Pac scratched out the names of Little Sean, Biggie, Puffy, Jimmy Henchman, Haitian Jack, his friend Trevor, aka Rick, who was the guy that evaded arrest during the incident with Ayanna Jackson, Andre Harrell, Craig Mack, who's another rapper from Bad Boy Records that had nothing to do with the shooting, also King Tut, who Pac thought was a shooter, and his best friend Big Stretch. He had a lot of time to think about it, and to watch the moves of every single one of those people on the list. Pac wanted to get rid of all of them. On August 29th, they finally
I don't know, the
released
older I got,
Junior
the more I
Mafia
like.
Group
I
album
gravitated to
Conspiracy,
old school.
which ended
Now
up
we used
being
to
more
make fun of people
successful
like
than Tupac's
listen
group
to old
album
school
Thug
music.
Life,
Now when you get older,
going
you
gold in
start
less
listening
than
to
4 months.
that shit crazy.
It took the Thug Life album about 1.5 years to reach that milestone. And now the group was history, while Junior Mafia was making headlines, which might have been a punch to the gut for Tupac, since he wanted Biggie to be part of the Thug Life movement, who on the other hand chose to start his own movement instead, and it worked out perfectly, at least commercially.
That's a Leo.
The Thug Life was the overall superior rap group, but people at the time were feeling Junior Mafia way more. To be fair though, Pac didn't really have the opportunity to promote his group and the album as he was in prison. Biggie on the other hand had great promotion. The next big incident occurred on September 23rd, 1995, when Ma Peru member Big Jake from Campanella Park was gunned down after attending the Platinum City Club, a nightclub based in Atlanta. It was actually Jermaine Dupri's birthday party. Both Suge and Puffy were invited. Jake was there as a bodyguard for Suge. The two are homies. And Suge was of course there to intimidate and bully people, especially Puffy. As mentioned earlier, Suge was always showing up to parties and clubs that Puff was attending, to make him feel uncomfortable and to humiliate him. Suge supposedly slapped both Puffy and Jermaine Dupri. Even had Puff in a full Nelson. At the after party, someone from Puffy's camp, either his bodyguard Anthony Wolf Jones or a man named Jason from the Bronx, shot down Jake after an argument. More on this in my Tupac murder documentary. Suge wanted revenge for Jake and blamed Puffy for his death. Suge yelled at Puffy and promised retaliation. This was the point of no return, and Pac was just about to inherit all the beef Suge had, as if he hadn't had enough enemies and problems already. Now he was in the middle of a gang war, with the mob Piru wanting revenge. After the Atlanta shooting, people on both coasts began speculating. Would there be retribution? All-out war? According to a New York Times cover story, Puffy sent Louis Farrakhan's son Mustafa to talk with Suge, which Puffy denied. But he did tell him, if there's anything you can do to put an end to this BS, I'm with it. The Times reported that Suge refused to meet with Mustafa. He had declined to speak about his friend's murder. Less than 2 weeks later, when the How Can I Be Down rap conference in Miami took place, the heat was on. Suge, who has never concealed his past affiliations with LA's Notorious Bloods, was rumored to be coming with an army. Puffy was said to be bringing a massive group of New York thugs and drug lords. When the conference came and Puffy did not attend, Billboard reported that it was due to threats from Death Row. Then on October 12, 1995, which is less than 3 weeks after the shooting, Tupac, the guy who Suge wanted to bring back to crush Puffy and Bad Boy Records, was released from the Clinton Correctional Facility in New York after serving 8 months on abuse charges. He was on a $1.4 million bail
They didn't bring the women back in the songs in the 90s.
To
sing on them goddamn rap songs.
He became heavily involved in the growing East Coast-West Coast hip-hop rivalry. Pac was already labeled a thug and gangster before his release from prison. But signing to Death Row amplified it to the point where everything got out of control. He finally had his chance to get everything off his chest and get back at everyone, unloading all the hate and resentment he had built over the past couple of months. To the horror of the music industry, Tupac publicly accused Biggie of setting him up. Big denied any involvement in the shooting, saying Pac had simply been the victim of a botched robbery. But Pac refused to back down on his accusations. He was just filled with hate, anger, and rage. He had lots of time to think about who shot him and wonder whether his friends were really his friends. Pac had endured enough. Now it was time for payback.
Expect me, nigga, like you expect Jesus to come back. Expect me, nigga. I'm coming.
Every time I hear that, well, that shit goddamn give me goosebumps.
When Tupac came to LA and joined Death Row following his release from prison on October 12, 1995, he found a new family to support and strengthen him. People that wouldn't, quote-unquote, drop like a sack of potatoes when he needs help. Death Row and the Mob Peru welcomed him with open arms, took him under their wing like a little brother, gave him support, protection, and everything he ever wanted from the thug life movement he left behind. He started to surround himself with real gangsters and gang members while going to war with the people who quote-unquote set him up or knew about the setup. Puffy, Biggie, Bad Boy Records, the people who shot him, those who plotted the shooting, and also the people involved in the assault case. Those were now his enemies. Tupac created a new alias for himself called Machiavelli, after studying the teachings of the political advisor and political theorist Niccolo Machiavelli. He read his book The Prince while he was in prison and started calling himself Machiavelli the Dawn.
Hold on, we ain't gonna see it. We ain't gonna walk past it like we didn't see that shit. I don't know, twin. I just didn't know this shit.
Of the head of the mafia family.
Hold on, how do we go
and
back?
now studying the teachings of the political advisor and political theorist Niccolo Machiavelli. He read his book.
Y'all see that shit? Damn. damn, I never noticed that shit. He throwing the West Side low key a little bit. Oh shit, I ain't never noticed that shit.
The Prince while he was in prison and started calling himself Machiavelli the Don, similar to how Biggie called himself the Don when he embraced the mafioso style after the release of his first album. Don is hereby a term for the head of a mafia family. And now Tupac is coming for Biggie's spot, wanting to dethrone him and become the Don himself.
He's on for 6 months? Damn,
on the book
it felt like
cover
when I
of The
growing up,
Prince,
he's on that shit.
Pac saw Machiavelli put up a W hand sign. He then took that and used it to represent his allegiance to the West Coast. Pac was fascinated with Machiavelli's ideas.
Ice Cube got mad at him for doing that shit too. Ice Cube started stealing that shit from him.
Are justified if they can help achieve political glory. A good leader, in Machiavelli's opinion, isn't someone that's good, friendly, and kind, but someone who knows how to defend, enrich, and bring honor to his people and states, even by taking dark and immoral measures, using the most effective methods, even if they're cruel and evil, disregarding other people's feelings and destroying opposers to achieve goals by all means necessary. That was the type of leader Tupac wanted to become when he came out of prison. He was done playing the nice guy that tries to fight for everybody's rights. He was done empowering women, making political songs about racial inequality, trying to unite the thugs from every ghetto, and just making everybody happy. He understood that kindness doesn't bring you anywhere. Felt like he got stabbed in the back by the same people he was fighting for. I mean, he got shot by black people while thinking that no black man would ever shoot him, since he's always fighting for their rights, just like he did for black women. But then he got accused of assault and thrown into prison for a crime he didn't commit, destroyed by the media and stabbed in the back by the same people he considered brothers and part of the Thug Life movement. That's why Thug Life was dead to him, and he wanted to start over. It was time for a new approach, one that may be more radical and relentless, but more effective. And in order for him to get on top, Biggie had to go. Exit Tupac, enter Machiavelli.
When I was in jail, Bad Boy Puffy was the crown for Don. Even though Suge, as big as he was, and Snoop, at that point, they just with 2 million sales, they took the whole issue into Tupac, a young cat. I want to join the family, Don. Get me out. The only way for me to come back is there's no 2-man spot. There's only one spot over like what you call nigga kingdom. You know what I mean? And he was that main kid, and everybody tried to be like him. And nobody was successful unless they came from his camp or they was down with him. And that's how much this is.
The day he came out of prison, he started recording his next album, All Eyes on Me,
and Nas too.
which ended up becoming a double LP.
Did tributes.
One of the first songs he recorded was Ambitions as a Writer, on which he had quite a few subliminal lines against Stretch and Biggie. The song was made a month before Stretch's passing. This is obviously a shot at Stretch for letting Tupac take on the robbers all by himself, while he was sitting on the ground and watching his friend get roughed up.
I always wanted that damn vest he got on that shit, that cover.
Which Stretch also used in the Vibe magazine, quoting the robbers who were insulting Tupac and pistol whipping him. Pac obviously took offense to it, as Stretch was just sitting there doing nothing, taking notes of what everyone said instead of helping, watching his friend get beaten up and shot, and then telling everyone how Pac got punked, how he got stomped out and pistol whipped while they were calling him BS N-word, taking his jewelry while Pac couldn't do anything about it. Stretch's comments in the Vibe magazine came off as him making fun of Tupac. He implied that Tupac is a fake thug. And in this song, Pac is trying to flip it, saying that Stretch is actually the one who's a fake thug, that he wouldn't have gotten robbed if he had real people with him. So they were blaming each other for the outcome of the robbery. Then he also talks about jealous people who are trying to be like him, most likely referring to Biggie's Junior Mafia, because later on the song Hit 'Em Up, he said,
"They don't want to see us. Whole Junior Mafia clique dressing up trying to be us. It was my only wish to rise above the jealous coward motherfuckers spies."
Calling Biggie and his team jealous cowards he despises.
That boy don't miss.
A couple lines later, he actually says Ready to Die, which is the name of Biggie's debut album, possibly dropping subliminal lines just like Biggie supposedly did on Who Shot Ya. So it once again seems like he's indirectly involving Biggie when mentioning the whole Quad Studio incident, saying that he's hard to kill, ready to die, spitting at adversaries that are envious and after him. And then he also makes another Biggie reference by naming another one of his songs, playing around with the name of the last track on Ready to Die, which is Suicidal Thoughts.
Snoop Dogg wasn't even there.
In the next verse, he says that he'll get his revenge on the people that played him, and all the cowards who were involved, meaning Jimmy Henchman, and also everyone who knew about the shooting, meaning Puffy and supposedly Biggie.
I ain't gonna lie, check. Have any of y'all seen him go perform
on
live?
October 16th, Biggie's album Ready to Die went double platinum, reaching the milestone of 2 million records sold before Tupac. So Big went platinum and double platinum before Tupac, even though Pac had been in the game for way longer. Not only that, but Biggie also had multiple platinum singles out. Big Papa went platinum on May 23rd, One More Chance on July 31st. Juicy and Players Anthem were also gold. But Pac wasn't too far behind. He had the platinum single Dear Mama and the gold singles I Get Around and Keep Your Head Up. Strictly for my NIGGAZ and Me Against the World were hereby platinum. But he had no double platinum albums yet. That would change 2 months later on December 6th with Me Against the World going double platinum. The same day, Biggie's Junior Mafia group album Conspiracy went gold.
If you know Crips was after were going head to head.
Everyone was surprised how fast
why you
Biggie
didn't
caught
intervene
up
with
to
that shit?
him.
Like call
With
me
one
or
album.
something about that shit.
Pac had 3 solo albums and was a movie star. But Big managed to take over the game in his absence while he was serving time in prison. Biggie was now the undisputed king of New York, and the West Coast needed someone to step forward as the king of the West Coast. Who was it going to be? Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, or Tupac? The fans were waiting for them to drop their albums and for the West Coast to make a comeback. But none of them at the time were able to drop an album as dope as Ready to Die.
Y'all had time to come back.
Except Tupac.
Tupac was in jail, y'all.
And the people from
Snoop
their
Dogg,
flow
Dr.
were
Dre.
taking a step back to let Tupac shine. They put all their focus on him. And he was in the studio every day since the day he came out. He had to get a lot off his chest. That same night, on October 13th, Tupac met the wife of the notorious B.I.G., Faith Evans. That's when the whole Biggie and Pac beef escalated. At this point in time,
Well, I ain't know
Big
she
and
was like
Faith
that,
were
chick.
separated
I ain't know she was like
after
that.
catching him cheating with Lil' Kim. Prior to that, Kim was actually
she
on the
was a church
radio
girl.
bragging about how Big and Faith are separated.
Lil'
and that
Kim,
she
you
can
can tell by
now
her face
have
that
him
she
for
like that
herself.
for real. I ain't
And this
lying.
was before the two actually broke up. Kim's comments on the radio made Faith suspicious. She then found out that the two had been sleeping together every time he went out to record music late at night. Also during the Junior Mafia tour, basically during
She
the
don't look like
entirety
that
of
no
their
more.
marriage. And Lil' Kim would always
Ooh,
pretend
yeah,
to
she
be
ain't nothing.
something like a sister to her. Biggie also had a rapper named Charlie Baltimore as his mistress. He had multiple women on the side and had become the player he claimed to be in his lyrics. Faith then confronted him at the Millennium Hotel in Times Square, asking, "What is up with you and Kim?" Big was honest and said,
What's that saying, Pop? Said,
"Yeah, we get down like that." He didn't deny it.
Oh, fill me in.
All this
oh,
time,
how you say it? Fill
you've
me
been
in.
effing this girl
physical
all this
form?
time?
Damn, how you say that shit?
Yeah, Biggie said.
They fill me in.
Faith appreciated his
I didn't say that
honesty
shit.
and they slept together that same night.
No country.
But she didn't feel the connection anymore
Yeah, I know
now
what
that
I'm
she knew about his cheating. She did it for closure and wanted to separate from him. Decided to live alone for a while.
That nigga was big as
She
hell.
said that she didn't care who Biggie wanted to sleep with from that point on. Faith then refused to go on tour with Biggie and instead lived in the 2-bedroom apartment of the R&B group 112, which consists of 4 male members. Without Biggie being around to pay the bills, Faith was struggling with money. One day she called him at their house, but it was his mistress, Charlie Baltimore, who picked up for him.
What you
And
mean,
that's
yo?
when she knew that he's cheating again. She called him on different dates, and it was always Charlie who picked up for him. Always at Big's house while he and Faith lived separately. Faith supposedly beat up all the women Biggie was cheating with, even Lil' Kim.
Damn.
But at this point in time, she was done caring.
Lord have mercy.
She then met an NBA player in New
I
Orleans,
keep thinking that girl,
whose name
she
she
cheated.
changed
I mean,
to
no,
hide
she,
his identity.
Aaliyah.
She just called him Roger Short, a tall, dark-skinned man
We gotta do
from
one on
New
Leah
Orleans,
too, man.
playing for a team in the
I love
Midwest.
Leah too.
She was attracted to him and started an affair of her own. So now she was cheating back on Biggie, purposefully sleeping with men she's attracted to get back at him. The same day she met Roger, she wrote him the address to a hotel room, and that's when they started hooking up. She would have a couple one-night stands and affairs here and there, just to spite Biggie. This will become important later on when she meets Tupac. She was feeling more and more disconnected from her husband and her bad boy roommate. Started making her own business moves while the bad boy camp was touring. They were mad at her for not touring with them. Faith kept a distance from her husband and wanted to advance in her career on her own, while hooking up with men like Roger Short during her trips around the US. She had friends with benefits in multiple cities. In October, she then came to LA to record some music. She was staying at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and once again got in touch with Roger Short. Then she met a producer she called Terry Dollars on the same trip. His real name is most likely Teddy Riley. She had sex with him a few times as well.
Shortly after that, on October 13th, a day after Pac got released from prison, Faith went to the Hollywood Athletic Club in LA, where she was promoted by Nature.
There are two conflicting recounts of what happened next. According to Faith, Tretch told her that Tupac wants to meet her, but according to Tretch, it was the other way around.
My boy right here.
Faith was the one who wanted to meet Tupac, but according to Faith, she knew nothing about him and had no interest in him. In some of her interviews, she even claimed that she didn't even know who Tupac was, or that he was signed to Death Row. But in her book, Keep the Faith, a memoir released in 2009, she admitted to knowing him.
She lying.
Even added that Biggie told him about their beef and his accusations of him having something to do with the Quad Studio shooting. According to Faye, Biggie was convinced that Pac knew better than to think that he had something to do with it, basically implying that he was creating drama and lying on purpose. So Faith knew exactly what was going on between the two, and still decided to meet her husband's accuser, someone who considered her husband his enemy. Went to talk to him before Big and Pac could talk it out. He's not even been outside for a week and she's already meeting him, before Big even got a chance to reach out to him, cause he was on tour. They could have talked it out before
we husband and wife. I ain't tell you about Tupac.
And Big didn't know what Tupac was going to do next.
This shit. She know.
He wanted to see him and talk it out, but there was an awkward silence between them. And now his vengeful wife is going to his potential enemy, someone who's also vengeful and has built up a lot of hate and resentment for Biggie. A lot of people believe that she knew exactly what she was doing, that she purposefully looked for Pac to sleep with him, sleep with someone Biggie considered a brother, just like how she considered Lil' Kim her sister, before getting stabbed in the back. She was already sleeping with other men the nights before, and was going to a new club every night to meet men. She wanted to hurt Biggie the same way he hurt her. And now, according to Tretch, she's asking for Tupac. Soon as they greeted each other, a photographer came and took pictures. And you can clearly see that she's not wearing her wedding ring. She's showing off her ringless hands, while Tupac is looking provocative. Faith told everybody, including Tupac, that she and Big are separated and about to get divorced.
They gonna about to show that.
So she might have purposefully holding up her ringless hand to seek attention from Biggie. Like, look, I can go and hook up with your enemy if you don't treat me right. This is what you get for betraying me. Maybe she was indeed trying to hurt Biggie the same way he hurt her. Because there is no other explanation
y'all be scared of them yellow girls
holding
now.
up her hand like
be
that.
crazy now.
But later on, she was playing innocent, telling Biggie that she never cheated on him. But she later admitted to it after he passed. And yes, she took off her wedding ring every time she went to the club. Tupac complimented her, saying that he likes her music and wants her on his album, adding that only she can do that one song he has in mind, which is Wonder Why They Call You B.
Happy New Year.
Faith was struggling with money at the time. Without her husband or label supporting her, she wanted to make her own deals and work with artists on the West Coast. And she obviously knew that working with Pac would make her husband mad, or at least make him worry. Seeking attention while playing with fire. You don't just collaborate with people who accused your husband of being somewhat responsible for a shooting.
Shit,
when a woman mad at you, would have to get clearance from Bad Boy Records to put that song on the album, and that she wants $25,000 up front. That's not a problem, Pac said. In her memoir, she said that she didn't actually go ahead and work with him immediately, but instead went home to think about it and to ask her manager Mark Pitts and Biggie on the phone, quote-unquote, a day or two later, if it was fine for her to do a song with him. And they supposedly told her that it was no problem, that she can go ahead. I met Tupac out here. He wants me to do a song with
Shit,
him.
I think Diddy got
Faith
some of
said.
that too. Shit, I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, word?
I ain't gonna hold
Big
you.
responded.
Diddy got some of
You're
that?
gonna do it? If the money comes through, yeah, I'll do it. According to Faith, Big played it cool, as if he wasn't worried or jealous, which might have not been the type
See, I gotta
of
hear the
response
original
Faith
version
was
of that.
anticipating.
You know, they
But
changed the
Big
version
knew
of
better
it.
than to
I
sound
gotta hear the
jealous and
original with
worried,
Faith on it.
as that would make him look
If I
weak
find
and
my- see, can I
insecure
find
in
it?
Faith's eyes. Then again, we don't know if this conversation actually took place, as Big was shocked when he saw Pac and Faith together. So she could have lied about it to make herself look better, cause as we will find out, she told quite a few lies to save her image and reputation. So doing a song with someone you supposedly know nothing about requires you to ask your husband for permission, but stepping out of the marriage doesn't? She wasn't even on speaking terms with him
Damn, it's
anymore.
not on Apple Music.
I mean, she was collaborating with multiple artists without having to ask anyone for permission. But Tupac somehow is the exception. It's not unlikely that she knew what she
Ooh,
was
there go
doing
my
was
song,
wrong,
Anytime. Ooh,
or
Lord,
else
by
she wouldn't
Tupac.
have asked
Ooh,
for
Lord, I
permission,
love that song.
assuming that she did indeed make those phone calls. But yeah, a lot had changed between them. Just a couple weeks prior, they were trying to come off as hip-hop's dream couple. They were on the cover of the October 95 issue of the Vibe magazine. And now she's hanging out with Tupac. The photographer who was there that day was supposedly ordered and paid by the people from Death Row to take those pictures with Faith and Pac together. She said nothing else happened after that night at the Hollywood Athletic Club. She just went home and that was that.
Yeah, we got divorced
In
and
her
all
first
this.
recount,
The whole
she
nine.
said that Pac couldn't get the clearance from Bad Boy Records, and that it never went any further than them taking pictures at the club. She then supposedly went and recorded the reference track
she's still
for a
in there?
girl group that's not part of Death Row.
They turned it down.
And Death Row supposedly tried to get their hands on those vocals
See?
so that they can put it on Tupac's album. She initially denied that they were ever in a studio together, saying that she was only in the studio with the girl group she was working with, not with Tupac. That's what she said in her first account during an interview with Video
what was the
Music
girl
Box
group
on
name?
July 27th, 1996.
Situation with me and Tupac, there really never was a situation. I mean, we met. He was really nice. He asked me to work on his album. He told me he could get it approved or whatever, get clearance from the label. And then I found out that he probably couldn't. I was out there working with another group. I won't name them. They have nothing to do with Death Row.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought she was a Spanish girl. I ain't gonna cap. She looked like one of the Spanish girls. I ain't gonna cap. One of them crazy Spanish girls. I love them Spanish people. She like one of them crazy Spanish girls. I ain't gonna lie.
And I was writing for them. That's how I met him. I did a reference vocal for another group I won't name. Okay. And it ended up that they was going to try to use that vocal on Tupac's album. So I guess it was for him or whatever. I really don't know.
This can be
you
easily
can tell she was
disproven,
lying.
as there are audio recordings of them together in
Yeah, I
the
thought she was
studio
Spanish.
on
I thought she was
October
Spanish the whole time.
19th,
Since
while
I've
they
been
were
growing up, I
working
thought
on
she
the
was Spanish.
song Wonder Why They Call You
She
B.
black and white. I ain't know this
There
shit.
were also about a dozen eyewitnesses who have seen those two together in the studio.
Take it back.
I ain't gonna lie, twin.
That's all right.
That motherfucker rocking. I ain't gonna lie, that shit was rocking.
You gonna say that? Yeah.
That shit rocking. I don't play. I wonder why. I wonder why they bit back. They just didn't let you. I like that little shit.
This right here is from an interview with Chuck Phillips, which took place on October 19th. And you can clearly hear Faith recording her vocals and talking to Tupac, while Pac is outside the booth having an interview with Chuck Phillips. So Faith has been lying for all these years. She still hasn't changed to this day. She's been in 3 marriages and cheated every single time.
Damn. But I don't know what the fuck they were going through the 90s. But that shit carried all the way down. But goddamn, she been in 3 marriages, bitch. You need to get it up at this time. You might have already retired. Shit. Was told from Bad Boy because they was partying with Tupac and Trench. Who was the group? Who was the girl group? I don't know what the fuck. I don't even know what the fuck he from though. I ain't gonna lie to him. I ain't gonna lie. He might be for him. They got a picture of them all together. You talking about with the girl group too?
Even recently on her ex-husband Stevie J. She brought multiple men home and slept with them in Stevie J's bed. And when
Oh, she was
confronted,
savage.
she had no remorse, zero accountability, and a cocky attitude. Stevie J at least was able to catch her red-handed.
Yeah, that's
So
honey
she
mustard. You
wasn't
can't trust them
able
honey
to
mustard.
lie her way
Yeah, that's
out
honey
like
mustard
she
right
did
there.
with
We
Pac and
call
Biggie.
them honey mustard. Can't trust them honey mustard. Look.
I hate you. Please leave me alone. Please, I hate you.
All I did was love you. And you do that to me?
Damn, Sil.
How can you do that to me?
Stop.
How can you f*** me? No, I ain't going
Fuck out of
there.
here. Here you go with your dumb shit.
No, you...
Grow the fuck up.
Look. You got a black girl? Well, she ain't black. She had. They say dumb shit all the time. You come with that dumb shit or dumb shit at period. Goddamn run, bruh. Run.
This is what I don't want to be bothered with. Get the fuck out.
And this was
She
her
gave me
at
flashback
almost
on my
50.
goddamn old lady.
Now imagine how wild she was when she was younger.
Yep.
I used to fuck mad niggas when I was little. That's why dick don't really do shit.
She was out in clubs every night to meet men. She brought multiple men home and slept with them.
Hold on, no.
We went back to the.
Hold on, what she said this shit.
After taking those pictures.
Hold on, where we at? Where that shit was at? She said this shit. Hold on, Twin. We went too far. Oh, we gonna walk past this shit. Oh, here you go, Twin. I found it.
And this was her at almost 50. Now imagine how wild she was when she was younger.
I used to fuck mad niggas when I was little. That's why dick don't really do shit for me now. Like, your dick don't really do shit.
She was out in clubs every night to meet men. Didn't even matter if it's the enemy of
She
her
ain't
husband.
had my shit. That was
She
wrong.
went back to the
I
Peninsula
get your ass
Hotel
right.
with Tupac the same day they met, meaning on October 13th, after
Damn.
leaving the Hollywood Athletic Club. Cause when Pac went out to smoke,
Totally
he
was the
saw
girl
Faith
who
leave
she
the
was-
building. He
That what
then
they
yelled
call it,
across the parking lot, "Y'all leaving?" And Faith responded, "No."
I tell you, I know I
Pac
look this
then
shit
said,
up. I don't give a damn.
"Cause we about to go back to my hotel room. What y'all gonna do?"
Totally.
And Faith said, "We gonna follow you." That night, Faith went to Tupac's room at the Peninsula Hotel. 3 days later, they even went to the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack release party
Appreciate
together
it.
on October 16th. There was no mention
Oh, y'all
of
remember
this
them? They can
meeting
sing
in
like a
Faith's
motherfucker.
first recount when she was asked in
I'm saying with
interviews
Tupac.
months later. But in her memoir, which she released in 2009, she spoke about a whole new set
Yep, I
of
see it. I
events
see the
that
picture
supposedly
I see the
transpired
picture
after
right
the
now.
night at the soundtrack release party, which she either tried to hide or forgot to mention
here you go.
in her first account in '96, or made up and added on top of a mountain of lies in an attempt to trickle
Yep, I
truth
see it.
people who have noticed the holes in her story. Because at first she denied ever being in a studio
drinking
or
Hennessy
hotel
and
room
shit.
with him.
Know what happened that night.
But then later in her memoir, she said that they indeed met up and
Yep,
spent time
I just
together.
found it.
That they didn't just part ways and never see each other again after taking those pictures at the Hollywood Athletic Club. Because that's
I don't
what
know.
she
I don't see
claimed
Faith
while
in
Pac
there,
was
no.
alive. According
Well, it
to
might
the
be this
singer Danny Boy, Faith Evans would go on shopping sprees all around LA and return with trunks full of gifts and clothes for Tupac. Like, for example, an expensive gold Versace silk shirt, which he would later wear to taunt Biggie, like on November 5th in Las Vegas, for example. He bragged about it in the Daily News, which of course infuriated Biggie. Why would you buy trunks full of gifts for someone you consider a stranger? Someone you supposedly don't even care about? Here's what happened on October 16th, according to her memoir. They were on their way to the soundtrack release party when Tupac called her asking where she's at. Notice how Pac somehow has her phone number and can call her up casually like a friend, as if they're close, and not complete strangers like Faith made it out to
we
be.
see her. We see her. We
Pac
see her.
saw Faith's car and jumped in the back seat. They both got out the
I know
car
they
when
head
they
for anywhere.
arrived at the red carpet
Yeah, you tell that's the same
and hung
head.
out together the entire day.
Yeah, that's the same
Pac
one.
sat at the same table as her the whole night. They then went to an after party together at the Peninsula Hotel, the exact hotel Tupac was staying at. Pac jumped into Faith's limo and they drove to the hotel together. At the Peninsula Hotel, Pac and Big Syke hung out together with the rapper Drew Down, who brought 2 Italian sisters with him. He was seeing both at
Who
the
the fuck is
same
Drew Down?
time
He
and
supposed to be a
tried to
pimp.
convince one of
He
them
look like
to
Lil
sleep
Flip,
with
though. I
Pac.
ain't gonna count.
But she refused
Flip.
and the sisters
Flip.
left. Pac came out the shower with a towel on, asking for the girl, who had already left. He then put on a sweatsuit and said, "Watch this though. Watch this though." Faith was knocking at the door of Pac's hotel room, and Pac knew that it was her. After opening the
Oh, that
door,
is the same girl.
Drew Down saw her quote-unquote disguised in a hoodie
And according to him,
Damn, she kinda
it
thick.
seemed like she's trying to sneak into Tupac's hotel room without anyone
cornbread
noticing.
right there, man.
But Drew got the feeling that she had been to his hotel room before.
I believe.
Because how else would she be able to find it on her own? Pac was supposedly bragging about his relationship with her. Even on October 16th, 3 days before Faith laid down her vocals for Wonder Why They Call You B. After greeting Pac, Faith then saw Drew and Psych, drinking and smoking.
Damn.
She probably realized that her and Pac won't be able to spend some
Drew
time
down
together,
about
at least in
religions?
private, and do whatever the two planned to do. So she left immediately. Drew Down was confused, wondering what the hell just happened.
I never heard of him. This is my
It's
first
more
time
than
hearing him.
likely that Faith wanted to do more than just say hello and then leave. She didn't want to drop any hints that there's something going on between her and Pac. Nobody could know about this. So she just greeted him and
How
left.
nobody gonna know about it? You
Pac
at parties
knew
and
that she
shit,
was
like,
coming
what the
and
fuck?
kept bragging about it to Drew Down. He then invited him to come record with him the next day, which was October 17th. So on the next day, Pac picked him up and they drove together to Can-Am Studios, where they recorded the song All About You, with Drew Down in the intro. Pac also recorded his verses for Wonder Why They Call You B. He wanted to put Faith on it and turn it into a diss. But she wasn't actually there in the studio on October 17th. Pac planned to get her on the song in the next couple of days, on October 19th to be exact, 2 days later. For that, Pac picked her up at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel
That the
in his
wordplay to go.
convertible, and they drove to the Can-Am Studios together.
She must forgot
She
paparazzi
saw
on her.
Suge, Corrupt, and people from the label there. Knowing that Puffy and Suge were in the middle of a beef, I mean, she was right
Yeah,
there
Suge
when
fucking,
Suge made fun of Puffy
Diddy
at the
got
Source
them baby
Awards.
mama.
And
Shit.
when Pac
Damn.
publicly made
They
those
some savage.
accusations against Biggie in magazines. But she still decided to record the song with Pac. This is what she said in the second version of her story. In the first version, they never even were in a studio together. Now all of a sudden she admits that they indeed went to hotels and studios together. With Pac being on Demon Time, he also played her the first beat for the Biggie diss track Hit 'Em Up, saying, "Look, I've been working on new music for my new album." With everyone from Death Row in that room smirking. They all knew what Pac was going to
will.
use the beat for.
You know I
Faith
will.
and Puffy's baby mama, Misa Hilton, who was also there that day, were the only ones who had no idea what that song was about. They were just bobbing their heads to the beat
Yeah.
and enjoying it.
I appreciate you putting me
Pac
on.
hadn't laid down a verse yet, but he was planning to brag about sleeping with her, which he tried to do that same day. So he basically played Biggie's wife the beat on which he was planning to kill her husband lyrically. Planning to brag about sleeping with her while she's there in the studio vibing to the beat, not knowing what's about to happen. Having a great time enjoying the music, just to find out that she was vibing to the melody of the song that would turn Biggie's world upside down and give him the shock of his life. I mean, how was Faith supposed to explain it to her husband? What was she supposed to say? "Honey, I was in the studio with the guy who accused you of setting him up. I was in a hotel with him and he's now bragging that he slept with me. Oh, and I was also vibing to the beat he tried to end your
Oh, I
career
love
with."
E40 though.
It was a terrible look. Just imagine Faith's reaction hearing Pac brag about sleeping with her on the same beat she was bobbing her head to while using it to humiliate Biggie. And at the time the song came out, she had a baby on the way. Those were probably the darkest times in Faith's.
Who damn baby is that? How you sleeping with all these men and you pregnant by any biggies and y'all been separated? And you slept apart too. And you pregnant. And you been in LA the whole time.
life. Following the teachings of Machiavelli, Tupac wanted to win by all means necessary, using methods that are cruel and immoral, but effective. A leg lock, something that would ensure Tupac's victory, making it nearly impossible for Biggie to come back, humiliating and dethroning the King of New York. A lot of people saw Faith sit on Tupac's lap while they were spending time in the studio. The singer Natasha Walker said that she saw Faith's legs between Tupac's legs. Actor and singer Ray J has seen it too.
This nigga.
We walked in one day and
this nigga Ray J is everywhere. Damn. Kim Kardashian. Damn. Kanye. Tupac and FaZe. This
Faith was sitting on Tupac's lap while Pac was writing a verse.
This nigga gotta be steady.
It was like, what the F is going on? That was one of the craziest sights, dog. Faith was in Pac's lap. I was like, what the F? I'm not... Is that... It can't. I'm not hating on nobody. I got love for Faith. That was unbelievable. During the time of the East Coast West Coast beef. Others said that they looked like a couple. The song Wonder Why They Call You B was a subliminal diss towards Biggie's wife Faith Evans. But she didn't fully understand it.
And that's why they call this bitch a bitch.
In the song, Pac was pointing out the hypocrisy and the delusion of promiscuous women. And Faith didn't understand the irony of her sitting on Pac's lap and cheating on Biggie, while at the same time making a song bashing promiscuous women. And Pac wanted to point that out to everyone. The same woman that jumped on a song bashing promiscuous women is promiscuous herself, cheating on her husband while pretending to be a loyal wife. Because that night after the studio session, according to multiple people that were close to Pac, the two slept together in Tupac's hotel room at the Peninsula Hotel. According to Faith, however, she only went to Pac's hotel room to get her check of $25,000, which Pac promised on October 13th, when they first met at the Hollywood Athletic Club. According to her, October 19th was the one only time she went to his hotel room. But we have eyewitnesses like Drew Down and Big Syke who saw her there on October 16th, meaning 2 days prior, when she quote-unquote came there to say hello. Faith tried to make it seem like those two incidences were one incident, saying that the one time she came there, she almost got assaulted by Pac, after Pac's two friends, which were Drew Down and Big Syke, left the hotel room. That's what she said in her memoir, but that's not what happened, cause she was the one that left. Drew Down and Big Syke stayed in the hotel room. Drew Down even confronted Faith years later for lying about that incident. The time Pac and Faith went to the hotel room together was on October 19th. Drew Down and Big Syke weren't even there for that. That's the day, according to Pac, where they slept together. Faith, however, told the story differently, saying that on October 19th, after recording the song Wonder Why They Call You B, she only went to his hotel room to get her check. And Pac supposedly said, "My manager is bringing it to my hotel right now. I can bring it to you later on this evening, or we can swing by there right now and pick it up." In her memoir, she then said that she wanted to go to Tupac's room at the Peninsula Hotel to get that check. But when they got there, no manager was in sight. But there were two guys in Tupac's hotel room waiting and smoking blunts. She then said that the four of them waited in Tupac's hotel room for a whole hour, but the manager wouldn't come. At one point, Pac's friends left and she was all alone in the room with him. As soon as the two guys left, Pac supposedly confronted her. "You know I love New York, but I'm not effing with New York right now." Faith got scared and was shocked by Pac's sudden switch of mood and attitude. Really? Why is that? "Cause they set me up. You know that, right?" Pac was supposedly staring at her like she was the one who set him up. "You don't really believe that bullish. I'm telling you, they set me up." "Look, Pac, I just need to get my check and then I have to go," Faith said. "The situation with the money is like this. If I give it to you, then you my B-word." "Yo what?" "You heard me. You gotta be my B-word." Faith got up and moved further away from where Pac was standing. "I'm not anybody's B-word," Faith said. "You Biggie's B-word," Pac said. "I'm his wife. I thought y'all broke up. We still married. Whatever. Look, you hired me to do a song. I did. I want my money and that's it." "Oh, word? It's like that? You just want your money. You told me it wouldn't be a problem. The only reason why I came up here is because you said..." Pac then supposedly interrupted her and said, "So you're not trying to suck my D?" "What?" Faith screamed. "What are you talking about? You know you want to suck my D, B-words, don't effing lie." Faith started to cry and tried to leave, while Pac continued yelling and insulting her. He supposedly said something about Biggie and the East Coast, to which Faith responded, "But I thought y'all were friends. You know you want to be my B-word." Faith then left and drove to her friend with a limo.
That motherfucker. I don't even know if they true or false. But she said for real, like, I thought y'all were friends. And you sleeping with his friend. Damn. See, this shit make me want to stay single. I ain't gonna cap. Hell nah, fuck this shit. Hell nah, twin.
She was crying the whole time.
Hell nah.
Afterwards, she drove back to the Peninsula Hotel to meet with Pac again.
Girl with no legs.
At the lobby of the hotel, she called Pac, saying that she's waiting downstairs and waiting for a check. To which Pac responded, "Oh, word? I'll be down there in a minute." After 20 minutes, he still didn't come. So she called again and he responded, "Oh, word?"
I appreciate it.
The next couple of times she called Pac, he didn't pick up. He never came down to give her the money. That's when Faith knew that she had to get out of LA. In Faith's first account, there was never a mention of Tupac's harassment. She only said that he was always nice to her, even the last time they met. While Pac was alive, she never said anything bad about him.
I'm gonna screenshot that one though.
But after his death, she switched up her story and Tupac all of a sudden became the same filthy animal that supposedly assaulted Ayanna Jackson. But her story doesn't make any sense. Why would she go back to the same hotel room to meet the man who harassed and intimidated her? She was all alone. I mean, she was already crying and scared to death. Her staying for over an hour in his hotel room is also very suspicious. Also, why didn't she file a lawsuit for defamation and sexual harassment? Or call the cops? He would have been sent back to prison if she had won the case. But there were actual witnesses there who confirmed Pac's side of the story. No one has ever stepped forward as a witness to support Faith's claims.
Situation with me and Tupac, there really never was a situation. I mean, we met. He was really nice. I mean,
it was strictly business, no pleasure.
It wasn't even business. It would have been business, but it never got that far.
It was you and somewhere else, and then it was moved on to his project, supposedly.
Pretty much.
In her book, she stated that she immediately flew back to New York and then got a call from Jennifer, who was working for Bad Boy. Yo, have you heard? Big is pissed off. Him and Puff are wilding out right now. The rumors of Faith and Pac's affair had made their way to New York. Within hours, Biggie called Faith's hotel room. "What the F is going on?" he screamed. "Listen, I don't know what you heard, but..." Big then interrupted her, yelling, "You effing with Tupac?" "Hell no," she yelled. "I told you I did a song with him." "And then what happened?" Big asked. "Nothing, I swear to God, nothing." "Faye, don't effing lie to me. Why are people saying this?" "I don't know. Big, but you know I would never..." Big then hung up the phone. She lied to Big, saying that she would never cheat on him. But in her book, she confessed, "I hadn't been completely innocent. While I was in Los Angeles, I had sex occasionally with Terry Dollars. And I'd even seen Roger, the NBA player, a few times when he was in town. So technically, I had cheated on Big, but not with Tupac." She even said occasionally, multiple times with multiple men. And this was just in LA. The whole time, she was pretending to be the pure, innocent and loyal wife who gets wrongfully accused of cheating on her husband. But she did cheat on him according to herself. And she never told Biggie about it until the day he died.
Damn.
And they even had a kid together after the whole cheating.
Damn, I was trying to look at that motherfucker.
I'm pregnant by Big because that was my husband and that was the only person that I was laying with. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Even if I was involved with somebody, I wouldn't be out doing it like that, you know, especially not when I'm carrying this man's baby.
After that phone conversation, Faith took a shower to clear her head. She then wrapped herself in a towel and then heard a loud banging at her front door. Big was yelling and aggressively trying to break into her hotel room. As soon as Faith opened the door, Big rushed inside and grabbed her by the shoulder, yelling, "What the F is wrong with you? You F Tupac?" Faith tried to break free and started crying. "Hell no," she said. "You have to believe me." Big's friend Damien had come with him and was standing in the corner of the room. "Damien, please tell me what's going on," Faith said. Damien stayed silent the whole time. "Why is this guy saying this ish? Huh? Faye? Why?" Big pushed her to the floor and she covered her head with her arms, while he continued to scream and curse at her. After about 10 minutes, it was over. he stormed out, leaving her on the ground, sobbing and hysterical. Faith realized that she walked into Tupac's trap and that he used her to hurt Biggie. And Big was done with her.
Yeah, he got
even closer with Charlie Baltimore after that. And there were rumors that she was going to be her replacement. Then he saw the pictures of Pac and Faith together, saw that she wasn't wearing her wedding ring, and showing off her ringless hand to the camera.
She knows what she's doing.
Pac's facial expression was also very provocative.
Gotcha, bitch.
And they were all hugged up like a couple.
Wonder
Big
why they
would
call you
always
bitch?
insult her in front of others and would approach her multiple times out of anger to get some answers. According to Puffy's bodyguard Gene Deal, he choked her and yelled at her when she was supposed to perform during one of her shows. There were other incidences where he would try to talk to her, but she would lock him out of the door in order to make sure that she doesn't get hurt, while Big was in a state of rage and anger. She was denying the allegations and triple-truthing Big. Every time he caught her in a lie, he would get mad again. Faith went on the radio to say that she's not seeing Tupac. But every other week, Pac would make a cheeky comment in the media calling her his girl or implying that they slept together. And this would obviously frustrate, sadden, and infuriate Biggie. It was an emotional roller coaster for him. Pac wanted to ruin his marriage after seeing the October 95 issue of the Vibe magazine, with Biggie and Faith on the cover. On those pictures, they seemed like the perfect dream couple. All eyes were on them. Everybody read about their love story, how they got married 8 days after meeting each other. They called it love at first sight, and Pac wanted to destroy that, embarrass them in front of the whole world.
She must have told his ass
just
up
like
in the
how
room.
Big and everyone at the Quad Studios tried to embarrass him with their comments in the Vibe. He wanted to turn their love story into a joke, especially after hearing about Stretch trying to sleep with Pac's ex-girlfriend Desiree Smith while he was hanging out with Biggie's homies. He wanted to get back at both of them.
He never had no 8 days.
But they
8 days I want to marry
supposedly
you?
only
Shit,
slept together
I need
on
it.
October 19th.
Come on,
And
wait.
Suge Knight was sleeping with Puffy's baby mama Misa Hilton the whole time. Pac told him to take pictures of them together, so that they can shock Puffy the same way they wanted to shock Biggie. They wanted them to get ridiculed by the media, and hit them where it hurts the most. Here is a picture with Suge and Puffy's son Justin. You can also see Misa Hilton's legs on the left. Suge and Misa hooked up numerous times ever since the 95 Source Awards, and he would always fly her out to LA.
Her damn eyebrows,
together
that
with
was the
her
fuck I
son,
wanted. Where your
just
eyebrows
to
at,
humiliate
twin?
Puffy. Pac also did the same
How
thing
you
with
got eyebrows
Mary
in
J.
this
Blige,
nut? She
who
must
Puffy
drew
was
them
working
bitches
with
on.
at the time. While Pac slept with her in one room, Suge slept with Misa Hilton in the other, boasting about how they can sleep with every woman in Puffy and Biggie's life, and then send them back to
Mary
the
J.
East Coast.
Mary J. like that.
Mary J. Blige was supposedly passed around by multiple people on death row, like for example Danny Boy and Suge.
When she married? Mary J was married at the time? Ooh, Lord.
himself. Pac later complained and joked about Mary's bad smell in the intimate area. Pac and Suge were doing everything they could to belittle and emasculate Puffy and Biggie, rubbing it into their faces and showing them that they can get away with everything. A lot of the shady things they did behind the scenes.
Where you ever go back to? Where you ever go back to? Oh, Poon State. Where we go back to? You me go back? Hello. Where we going back to, twin? Shit, I ain't know Mary J like that for real. Mary J was out there.
This would obviously frustrate, sadden, and infuriate Biggie. It was an emotional roller coaster for him. Pac wanted to ruin his marriage.
That's why she
after
always
seeing
damn
the
dancing and
October
shit in
95
every
issue
goddamn
of the
song.
Vibe magazine, with Biggie and Faith on the cover.
Damn.
On those pictures, they seemed like the perfect dream couple. All eyes were on them. Everybody read about their love story, how they got married 8 days after meeting each other. They called it love at first sight, and Pac wanted to destroy that, embarrass them in front of the whole world. Just like how Big and everyone at the Quad Studios tried to embarrass him with their comments in the Vibe. He wanted to turn their love story into a joke, especially after hearing about Stretch trying to sleep with Pac's ex-girlfriend Desiree Smith while he was hanging out with Biggie's homies.
We went too
He
far.
wanted to get back at both of them. But they supposedly only slept together on October 19th. And Suge Knight was sleeping with Puffy's baby mama, Misa Hilton, the whole time. Pac told him to take pictures of them together, so that they can shock Puffy the same way they wanted to shock Biggie. They wanted them to get ridiculed by the media, and hit them where it hurts the most. Here is a picture with Suge and Puffy's son Justin. You can also see Misa Hilton's legs on the left. Suge and Misa hooked up numerous times ever since the '95 Source Awards, and he would always fly her out to LA, together with her son, just to humiliate Puffy. Pac also did the same thing with Mary J. Blige, who Puffy was working with.
She knew you was a bitch, that's why she went
While
there.
Pac slept with her in one room, Suge slept with Misa Hilton in the other, boasting about how they can sleep with every woman in Puffy and Biggie's life, and then send them back to the East Coast. Mary J. Blige was supposedly passed around by multiple people on death row, like for example Danny Boy and Suge himself. Pac later complained and joked about Mary's bad smell in the intimate area. Pac and Suge were doing everything they could to belittle and emasculate Puffy and Biggie, rubbing it into their faces and showing them that they can get away with everything. A lot of the shady things they did behind the scenes was hidden from the public. They were trying to drive them crazy and provoke a response, which they ended up getting months later.
Damn,
Pac and Suge shared a common interest. They both wanted to find out more about Puffy, cause Suge and other Ma Piru members indirectly held Puffy responsible for Jake's murder. Tupac, on the other hand, blamed Puffy for withholding information about the shooters and the mastermind behind the Quad Studio shooting, thinking he would have told him if he wasn't cool with those people or part of the whole setup. By the end of October, Pac had decided to go on the offensive against Biggie, Puffy and Bad Boy by writing more battle rap themed tracks or songs where he's taking subliminal shots at his enemies. Like on Only God Can Judge Me, for example, which was recorded on October 26th. He started off by saying that he got stabbed in the back by his own homies during and after the Quad Studio shooting. He's obviously talking about Stretch, Biggie and Puffy. The next couple of jabs are on the Posse track When We Ride, featuring the Outlaws and ex-members of the group Thug Life. It was recorded a day later on October 27th.
My adversaries crumble when we rumble. It's a catastrophe. I put revenge on them that blasted me.
In the song When We Ride, Pac is talking about a certain person who shouldn't have quote-unquote effed around with a fitness guy like him. He's talking about
Casey?
one person,
Casey,
saying that his adversaries will crumble and that he's out for revenge for the people that shot him.
Casey.
Who shot y'all? The weak from the opsa, leap hard to creep them broken streets. Who shot me is a clue, stay alert, cause we coming for you.
On October 30th, Pac recorded the title track of his album All Eyes on Me, which also contains subliminal shots at Biggie.
I bet you got it twisted, you don't know who to trust. So many player hating shit trying to sound like us.
With all the different recounts in the Vibe magazine about the Quad Studio shooting, fans and readers were confused on who to trust. Pac or Biggie and everyone else who was there at the Quad Studios.
Ain't gonna lie.
Their versions of...
Ain't gonna lie, Chet. Take this documentary 50-50. But when it comes to lyrics, it do make sense though, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. You got the lyrics down, pat, you know what I'm saying? Cause I ain't know who Tupac really talking about in these songs though. I know you this motherfucker, but I ain't know who you talking. Now I know who he talking about. I don't know if y'all been know who he was talking about. Shit.
Of the story conflicted Pac's detailed description of the things
now
that transpired
the
during
lyrics hit different for me.
Both sides called each other out for lying and tried to make themselves look better. Pac also accused Biggie of trying to copy his sound and style, especially the player image. Him making records for the ladies and club bangers for his album. Pac was the one who told him to change his style a bit and to make more radio-friendly records. That's how Biggie became successful, at least according to Pac. But now those same people who supposedly copied him are now player hating and talking bad about him in the media. Ready for the Funk is not only referencing Biggie's album Ready to Die, but also the song Machine Gun Funk on the same album. Pac is basically saying that they're all liars and cowards, who would run at first sign of funk, saying that they're not ready for it. Which is actually what happened a couple months later after the Soul Train Awards in 96. More on that later. Pac is ready to send those people to hell for supposedly backstabbing him. Holla When You See Me is directed at both Biggie and Stretch. He actually made a song called Holla at Me about a month later, in which he dedicated a couple verses to both of them. He believed that Biggie and Puffy had previous knowledge of or inside intel of those involved in the Quad Studio shooting. So Pac is asking them, are you still down? Telling them to holla at him. He's been waiting all this time for them to come pay him a visit and talk it out with him. Expected them to come see him in prison and to show love and support. Not on the radio for clout, but actual support in person. See if he or his family needs something. Things you would expect from your closest friends. Instead of doing this whole back and forth in the magazines, they shall come holla at him. A day later, on October 31st, Tupac decided to add insult to injury by recording the first version of the Biggie diss track Hit 'Em Up. A full song going at him. Not just subliminal lines here and there, but an entire verse from Pac bragging about sleeping with Faith Evans.
That is shit. If I get on stream, I play that
for her
shit
before sleeping with her. He slept with Big's wife and made sure that there are pictures and recordings of them together, which the media would spread everywhere around the world. That was step one of Pac's war strategy. This is now 12 days after that incident. Step 2 was now to put it on wax and record the biggest battle record ever. Something that gets played all around the world. At clubs, at parties, at events, on every block.
They want y'all trying to diss when that boy come out, y'all quiet now.
Similar to how Tupac couldn't
escape
from while he was in prison.
Y'all
They
can't do
played
nothing.
the song around him to piss him off, to see his reaction. It was pure entertainment. And Pac wanted to give Biggie a taste of his own medicine, so that he can't escape the humiliation. Constantly hearing the song that destroyed his marriage and his player image. It was a leg lock. Something that's really hard to get out of and to come back from.
Say the King of New York.
Because diss tracks are all about emasculating the opponent and making them look like a joke. How are you supposed to not only undo the damage, but also come back in a way that you're seen as the victor? As someone who made a strong comeback with a counterpunch that deals more damage than destroying someone's marriage. Biggie would need to drop a nuclear bomb to make a comeback. Pac also wanted to introduce the world to his clique, the Outlaw Immortals, which was supposed to be an upgrade over the Thug Life movement prior to his incarceration. He wanted the Outlaws to blow away Biggie's Junior Mafia, because Junior Mafia had successfully defeated Thug Life in terms of sales. Pac was planning to release a project with the Outlaws similar to the Thug Life album and JM's Conspiracy, but more successful, putting Biggie's movement to shame and showing him that he should have been part of Pac's movement instead of creating his own. And he also wanted to show Biggie that he's not on his level, that he's on the level of the Outlaws, on the level of his soldiers. Just like how Big was supposed to be
why
his
these niggas
soldier
gonna have a
on Thug
conversation?
Life.
That's what I'm asking.
And they know exactly who I'm talking about to you all.
It's the original version though.
Pac starts off by saying that he has no friends, and that unlike Biggie, he doesn't need to diss people subliminally. Felt like all his friends stabbed him in the back, thinking that Biggie and Stretch turned on him. When they said that they still consider Tupac as their friends, Pac responded with, I ain't got no friends, basically saying no thank you. Pac is also saying that Big should have been more direct. Instead of making songs that are subliminal, leaving it up for interpretation and then denying it in interviews. Instead of talking behind people's backs like Biggie supposedly did after the Quad Studio shooting, while at the same time pretending like everything is cool, Pac takes action and stays true to his words, making it public that he slept with Big's wife, showing that he's true to the game and not all talk. Not a two-faced coward that says one thing and does another.
Yeah, we need this. We need
but
this. We need
someone
this. We
who's
need this. We
direct
need the
and
original
real.
version.
His words are aligned
I'll
with his
take this
actions.
shit. I love Hit 'Em Up too.
Player,
Shit,
unlike
I'll take this
Biggie,
one too.
he proved that he's a player by sleeping with Big's
Yeah,
wife.
yeah.
That's what he was trying to say. As mentioned earlier,
lie, that
Biggie and
motherfucker
Puffy
outside.
talked badly
Hey,
about
no,
Pac while he was in prison, saying that he was in movie mode, acting, exaggerating, and lying. Puff in particular called him a fake thug in the Vibe magazine. And Big claimed that Pac shot himself, and that he didn't actually get shot 5 times. He supposedly lied about it to look better and tougher. Cause in the hood,
I gotta see a goddamn when he in the studio making a song, but I want to see one so bad.
Especially when you have a thug or tough guy image. Pac hopes that Big made enough money while he was locked up. Cause now that he's released, he'll make sure that his sales will drop and his career will come to an end.
He did.
He wanted to show the world that he can easily outsell and outperform him.
He did.
Pointing out the sudden change in style, how he went commercial and adapted the player image, even though he never wanted to go that route. He calls him phony and fat, the furthest thing from a player. The Biggie that Pac got to know wasn't popular with women, and he didn't wear the most expensive clothes and drink champagne every day. Pointing out how he all of a sudden started wearing Versace just like Pac, basically copying him, which is of course debatable.
When I tell you my dad dressed like Pac,
on Who Shot Ya, where he raps about shooting people, is all bluff because he's under the impression that Big ain't really a tough guy. That he's too scared to actually get involved in shootings. And that he's not the tough gangster that shoots people like in the music video for Warning.
Oh, I need to tell him to get that big ass poster on Tupac he got. I wonder if he still got it.
Pac calls Biggie a cross-eyed crack baby with Down syndrome. As most of you know, Biggie has a lazy eye, which means that one of his eyes sometimes wanders outward as it's weaker than the other. A crack baby is a term coined to describe children who were exposed to crack as fetuses. Meaning he implied that Big's mother smoked crack while being pregnant with Biggie. The part about the Down syndrome was obviously not true, but he wanted to make him look like a disabled person because of his eye problems. He also makes fun of him and Puff for trying to act tough on records like Who Shot Ya or on the Conspiracy album, where they embraced the mafioso style, and also in their music videos of course. This was said in response to what Puffy said about him in the Vibe magazine, calling him a fake thug who should stop acting and treating his life like a movie.
I got your ass in my sight, nigga down tonight, we screaming West Side for life. And I can't wait to see you in the traffic, cause we gon' get them up. When you see me, you better bust.
Big and Pac would later see each other after an award show, where it almost came to a shooting. More on that later. In the hook, Pac raps the infamous line, this is obviously referring to the song Who Shot Ya. With Pac saying you punks didn't finish, he's indirectly putting the mastermind of the shooting, the robbers, and also Biggie and Puffy in the same group. So people interpreted these lines as him accusing Biggie and Puffy of having something to do with the shooting. Cause why else would you tell Biggie, the guy who made Who Shot Ya, that he and his people didn't manage to finish him off? Why did he even make that connection? Biggie's name is somehow always brought up when he talks about his shooters. And this goes back to people in prison telling him that Biggie bragged about his homies robbing Tupac. But again, there's zero evidence that Biggie actually did that. The people who fed Pac information might have lied about it for their own agenda. Or maybe they misinterpreted something. Or maybe Tupac was indeed clout chasing. Cause that's what Big said after visiting Tupac in prison. He wanted to hear his side of the story. And came to the conclusion that Pac had no actual evidence to blame Biggie. He told Prodigy from Mobb Deep that he's only doing it to increase his record sales, which means that Big didn't deserve all the things Tupac did to him after coming out of prison.
Oh, y'all mad, man.
This version of the song also features Napoleon, who was left off the final product, which came out a year later. It didn't surprise me that he was cut off, as most of the lines weren't actually disses. Idi Amin's verse dealt with the same problem. Same with Gaddafi and the female rapper Storm. It's mostly just empty threats and nothing else. None of the lines on here deserve to be on a diss track, so I'm not surprised that they actually scrapped the whole song. Only one aside from Tupac who did well on this song was Hussein Fatal, who was probably the most skilled rapper of the group. His punchlines made it to the final version of the song, so I will cover them later. At the time, Pac didn't really know what to...
Hold on, what are we gonna go back to? Somebody this. Oh, she got a gun. Never mind. Chip. You used to be getting me for that shit. Right here.
This version of the song also features Napoleon, who was left off the final product, which came out a year later. It didn't surprise me that he was cut off, as most of the lines weren't actually disses. Idi Amin's verse dealt with the same problem. Same with Gaddafi and the female rapper Storm. It's mostly just empty threats and nothing else. None of the lines on here deserve to be on a diss track. So I'm not surprised that they actually scrapped the whole song. Only one aside from Tupac who did well on this song was Hussein Fatal, who was probably the most skilled rapper of the group. His punchlines made it to the final version of the song, so I will cover them later. At the time, Pac didn't really know what to do with the song. Cause A, it wasn't good enough, and B, he felt like he was going a little bit too far. Cause there would be no coming back after releasing this. Cause what if it turns out that Biggie was actually innocent? Then Pac would be seen as the backstabber. The one that slept with the wife of his homie after accusing him of setting him up. And after lying about him in the media. But now it was already too late for him to stop. So he stuck to his beliefs and his opinions, but didn't go all the way through. That's why most of the disses on All Eyes on Me are subliminal. He removed Hit 'Em Up from the tracklist. With Shook's homie Big Jake getting shot and killed prior to Pac's release from prison, and with the media turning the feud between two labels into a coastal war, nobody wanted to turn it into a bloodbath. So Pac wasn't going all out yet in '95. He wasn't sure if he should put any of the songs where he mentions Biggie, Puffy or Bad Boy onto his upcoming double album. But he made sure to include subliminal lines with keywords that Puff and Big would understand and interpret as disses towards them. Every time Pac talked about enemies, snakes, betrayal, traitors, or the quad studio shooting in general, he was talking about Big and Puffy. Cause those were the people who were on his mind back then. Like on the song Can't See Me, for example, which Pac recorded on November 2nd, 2 days after working on Hit 'Em Up. Pac was on a mission to surprise his enemies with the biggest comeback ever, while lyrically taking aim at everyone who badmouthed him while he was locked up. All the people that were happy that they finally got rid of him will now see him in flesh and suffer the consequences. Telling people to make clear what side they're on. Are they with him or are they against him? For Pac, his old friends Biggie and Stretch had already made their decisions, and he no longer considered them friends. They had their time to shine while Pac was locked up. But now that he's out, he's taking back his crown, eliminating all his adversaries like they're no competition for him.
Dang.
In the outro, he also says that people shouldn't believe everything they read, talking about all the different statements made by eyewitnesses who talked about the quad studio shooting. Like Biggie, Puffy, Lil Sean, Andre Harrell, Jimmy Henchman, Stretch. They had multiple accounts of what happened, and some of the statements contradicted each other. So Pac is telling his fans to not believe everything they read, implying that his enemies are lying on him. This is the only song on the album where he's mentioning Biggie by name. On November 5th, Pac, Shook, The Outlaws and the entire Death Row family drove to Las Vegas to perform at Shook's Club 662 and to promote the album All Eyes on Me. On that day, he wore the silk shirt that Faith bought for him. Cause as mentioned earlier, Faith would go on shopping sprees and then return with gifts for Tupac. They had a very close relationship. Pac even bragged about it in interviews, which on January 14th, 1996, made it on the New York Times. Tonight, Shook is wearing a new maroon suit and a matching fedora. The rest of the Death Row posse are wearing red and black. Black pants or red pants. Or black blazers or red blazers. Tupac is the only one in a different color. He's wearing an elaborately patterned gold shirt and baggy jeans. The wife of a top rapper bought this for him, Shook says. Who's that? His name is an acronym. Notorious B.I.G.'s wife, Faith Evans. She bought him this and a suit, and some other stuff, Suge says. And how did you thank her, Tupac? Tupac pauses. I did enough, he says rather salaciously. That same day, on November 5th, Pac did an interview with Uncle Luke and appeared on Luke's Peep Show, taunting Faith and Biggie.
I got a song with Snoop, I got a song with Corrupt, Dad, Rage, Faith from Bad Boy. There you go. I got a song with Faith from Bad Boy. We did this track together. What do I call you? I just want to tell you, you miss motherfucker. Can we talk? I hate when them New York niggas be throwing up gang signs. I seen Biggie throwing up this. Biggie don't know nothing about no gang signs. Why do you keep throwing up gang signs? Why do these East Coast niggas be, if they come to California, some of these true-to-life gangbangers gonna pull your motherfucking card. Because these niggas out here dying for that shit, and you wanna make a video and play with that bitch. Be careful, homie. All you fake friend-ass niggas, you got to be careful because it's very dangerous out here. You can do that little set me up in the studio in New York. But in California, nigga, that's where the cheese ride.
On November 7th, Pac recorded the song Hearts of Men, on which he starts off by reminding the CEO of Death Row Records what he told and promised him when he came out of prison.
Hey, Suge, what I tell you when I come out of jail, what I was gonna do? I was gonna start digging into these chicken chests, right?
He promised him that he'll destroy the label Bad Boy Entertainment. And Suge obviously liked what he was hearing, as he himself was already in a beef with the CEO of Bad Boy Entertainment, Puff Daddy. And he knew that controversy sells. So his eyes turned into dollar signs, and they immediately came to an understanding. He then continued by saying that he'll show everybody what it's like on the West Side, the real side, implying that the East Coast ain't the real side. He's creating this contrast of real and fake. The riders on the West Coast and the quote-unquote pussies on the East Coast. DJ Quick was there when Suge Knight slept with Puffy's baby mama Misa Hilton. He was one of the few eyewitnesses who've seen them leave the hotel together after the 95 Source Awards. He and Pac were both laughing at them and were making fun of the East Coast together. He also explains how there will be real people on your side who are true friends, but also fake ones who are disguised as friends but envy you and turn into enemies the first chance they get, in a moment of weakness when you're asking them for help. He was most likely referring to Stretch and Biggie.
I would let the goddamn song ride at this damn point, twin. Goddamn, you
thought that
keep
they did
teasing
more
my
damage
ass
than actual good with their statements in interviews and their actions during and after the shooting. He also thought that Biggie and Puffy wanted to see him rot in jail. 3 days later, between November 10th and November 13th, Pac and Dr. Dre were at the shooting for the California Love music video. The two hung out together on the set and even made fun of Biggie. Dr. Dre found out about the song Hit 'Em Up, which Tupac originally wanted to put on All Eyes on Me, and he offered Pac to remix it so that it becomes the biggest record ever. But Pac refused as he wanted to stay loyal to his friend Johnny J, who actually produced that record. Tupac also bragged about sleeping with Faith when they turned on the cameras to promote the record and the label Death Row.
I just want to send a shout out to Faith. Hey girl, hey, and Bad Boy Records. That's for Bad Boy Records. I love y'all. Y'all keep making money.
Suge was in the video too. Those two were the main people on Death Row who wanted to destroy Bad Boy. On November 25th, Faith's vocals from Wonder Why They Call You B were replaced with the ones from the singer Jewel, the first lady of Death Row. There are rumors that Faith and Bad Boy threatened the label with legal action, but it's also possible that they just couldn't get the clearance for Faith's vocals, since Bad Boy and Death Row were enemies and would most likely not cooperate. Plus, according to Faith, she never received her money. On November 28th, Pac recorded the song Comrades, which features the Outlaws, Storm and Big Syke. It contains a couple jabs at Bad Boy Records. He wants to make Bad Boy bow before death row and thinks that it's time for the next chapter.
Jermaine
now
Dupri.
that Biggie, Puffy, and everyone else had that.
Jermaine Dupri, my boy don't like you, so I don't like your ass either, twin. So we ain't fucking with Lil Bow Wow, all them motherfuckers, we ain't fucking with y'all no more, twin. It's over with, twin. It's over with. He said so shit.
Time to
anybody he beef with, I don't like it.
While he was locked up.
You know what I'm saying?
He also dedicates the
between you and Biggie.
Oh shit.
Like who's gonna
I'm for the other chat. Damn, go back.
Everything.
Goddamn, no, not Big Pun.
Suspicious. She then found out that the two had been sleeping together every time he went out to record music late at night. About the love story. How they got married 8 days after meeting each other. Tupac outsold all of them. So the death row entourage is now in the building while Bad Boy is outside trying to escape. They didn't want to like on Gimme the Loot for example.
God damn it.
Sign me, Pac. I just ain't have no chips for the guy and I wasn't going to Die had only shipped 57,000 units. So Pac was back on top and became the #1 rapper in the game. He went 5 times platinum in just 2 months.
God
To
damn
be
it.
something completely unrelated. Just him rapping about his life as a drug lord.
Do we pass this?
Oh no,
we
I know that I was at the hospital with his
We
mom
paid it.
when he had got shot in that studio.
Your mom's the actress, didn't want to show me the tape.
This could be about Tupac's
God damn it,
mother,
where the
Afeni
fuck we was
Shakur,
at?
who was a political activist and a member of the Black Panther Party. Biggie called her an actress, just like her son after the Quad Studio incident. Because that's what Biggie and everyone else said about Pac in the Vibe magazine, that he was acting and being over.
They sitting down with the dude he overthrew. You know what I mean? They not on my level, but I can sit down with the OGs from there, which we are doing. People don't even know we not beefing with the East Coast.
The next time Pac and Shook saw the people from Bad Boy was at the Soul Train. Sign me, Pac. I just ain't have no chips for the guy and I wasn't gonna like him.
What the fuck was
He
that?
made his album and I was making my album. This is before Me Against the World came out. I used to hear his tracks. He used to hear my tracks. Our styles were totally
y'all remember who was
different.
that? Damn, I
My
forgot.
ish was on some I'm About to Die.
That shit fucked me up.
Like you hear me on Me Against the World. But it was even a lot more ish about death. This guy album come out,
we had
Ready
faith
to
in him.
Die. It's all my album. And Biggie used to sit up there and ask me, how do you do them choruses? You the hook man. How you do this? How you do that?
I don't know if he's right. Huh?
I used to tell that guy, don't do none of that gangsta-ish. You better get at
Who's
these
that Dr.
females.
Dre? That's what
Because the
fuck he's at.
females buy your tape.
Now we gotta find this
The
shit.
guys buy your tape because the females want the tape. And look, he
we
came
weren't
out
right
on
with
some
faith in
Big
him.
Papa-ish. That's straight up robbery. But even after that, long as he was my homeboy, that was okay. But soon as he started acting like he was his own man, they knew that I was at the point where I couldn't just ride on people. I had like 50 gun cases, 30 assault cases, and they didn't have none. So they was
God
plotting.
damn it.
To the question how his beef with Biggie turned into an East Coast West Coast thing, he said,
California
I'm from
love
the East
video.
Coast. That's why I can feel like this.
God damn it. Okay, we way back here. I remember we right here. Okay, California. God damn, we can't find this shit. Oh, we ain't put. Did we go past all this?
Getting shots, getting accused of assault, and then also Snoop and the Dog Pound getting their trailer riddled with bullets. All the people who were dissing him and sending shots, everything somehow happened in New York. Hotel together after the 94 called The B-Side. And Pac was basically taking aim at everyone that chose to do a song with him. 2 days later, on November 30th, Big Stretch from the Live Squad was shot and killed in a fatal high-speed car chase, exactly 1 year after the Quad Studio shooting. In the March 96 issue of The Source magazine...
I cannot find Dr. Dre shit. I'm trying to find this shit.
Commercial and...
God damn it. I remember we right here.
going all out yet in 95. He wasn't sure if he
Okay, we almost done, Jay. Bear with me. It moves so damn fast, you gotta get in.
Tonight, Suge is wearing a new maroon suit.
Okay, he was right. Okay, we back on track.
Ain't the
Oh, here you go.
Those two were the main people on Death Row who wanted to destroy Bad Boy. On November 25th, Faith's vocals from Wonder Why They Call You B were replaced with the ones from the singer Jewel, the first lady of Death Row. There are rumors that Faith and Bad Boy threatened the label with legal action, but it's also possible that they just couldn't get the clearance for Faith's vocals, since Bad Boy and Death Row were enemies and would most likely not cooperate. Plus, according to Faith, she never received her money. On November 28th, Pac recorded the song Comrades, which features the Outlaws, Storm and Big Psych. It contains a couple jabs at Bad Boy Records. He wants to make Bad Boy bow before Death Row, and thinks that it's time for the next chapter, now that Biggie, Puffy and everyone else had their time to talk bad about Tupac while he was locked up. He also dedicates the last verse to all the quote-unquote tricks who he's trying to murder, while mentioning Bad Boy and the rapper The Bratz, who did a song with Big in '94 called The B-Side. And Pac was basically taking aim at everyone that chose to do a song with him. 2 days later, on November 30th, Big Stretch from the Live Squad was shot and killed in a fatal high-speed car chase, exactly 1 year after the Quad Studio shooting. In the March '96 issue of The Source magazine, Tupac spoke on Stretch's death and gave his opinion on what happened. You know what happened? Rules of the game. What goes around comes around. Meaning dishonest acts against other people eventually catch up to the offender, meaning Stretch. So Pac basically said that he suffered the consequences of his own actions on the 1 year anniversary of the Quad Studio shooting. Cause Pac later blamed Stretch for him getting shot and the robbers getting away. He wanted Stretch to grab one of the robbers so that he can shoot him, expected some form of support and help, instead of him dropping like a sack of potatoes.
Hey.
So people use this statement right.
Yeah, I think that movie, what's that video? What's the song called when he was, Tupac supposed to be like an angel to his homeboy. He had died and shit. He was talking to his homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Well, you think that shit was a reference to this? To Stretch? What's that song called? I mean, I know what the video is. When he was wearing all white in the video. He said, what's the word? He's a changed man. When I talk about money, all you see is the struggle. Yeah, what's that song?
Here as proof that Tupac thought that Stretch got shot because of the Quad Studio shooting. That he suffered the consequences of letting Pac down. And then later talking bad about him in the media. They also interpreted Pac's statements as a jab at Stretch. Cause in the Vibe magazine, Stretch was using the rules of the game as an argument against Tupac. And now Pac is referencing those same rules to say that Stretch got what he deserved. Cause Stretch had said, I want him to get a reality check. Recognize what the F he's doing. People on the streets live by rules, man. And that rule right there, that's the rule that's never to be broken.
So y'all think you talking about Stretch and them?
Broke the rules of the streets. Now Pac is directly responding to that comment, using the same words as Stretch. Know what happened? Rules of the game. What goes around comes around. I never had no violent thoughts towards Stretch at all. I just didn't want to F with him no more. But I didn't want to kill him.
Appreciate y'all.
He's my dog.
Okay, I see
Once you my dog, you my dog. He got shot just like I got shot. Everybody believed it was just a random robbery when I got shot. This guy get killed, now random ish don't happen. He basically said that the shooting involving Stretch was just as random and spontaneous as the Quad Studio shooting, which everyone now knows wasn't random at all. It was a planned setup, and Pac knew that. So this right here could be sarcasm, meaning he really put out a hit on Stretch and is now playing innocent like Puffy and Jimmy Henchman, doing interviews in magazines, denying everything, while everyone points their finger at them. But he could also just be playing with the idea of people thinking that he's powerful enough to put out hits on people. But it didn't seem like his death bothered him at all, even though he was his best friend at one point. Word on the street is that Stretch was killed for robbing a drug dealer for 10 keys of cocaine, which he refused to return. He had just produced the song Take It in Blood for the East Coast rap legend Nas, with whom Pac would later get into a beef with. But the Bad Boy camp probably speculated if Pac or the people from Death Row had anything to do with it. And if they would dare to do the same thing to him. Cause Big and Stretch were real close. And Pac was mad at both of them.
I still want to know who you talking about.
Plus, nobody knew what Shook would do next after losing his friend Big J. Cause he blamed Puffy for his death. 2 days after Stretch got killed, meaning on December 2nd, Pac decided to diss him on the song Holla at Me, which was named that way because of Tupac's ex-girlfriend Desiree Smith's letter, in which he asked Tupac why Stretch is trying to holler at her. So Pac took that and indirectly told Stretch that he should holler at him instead of hollering at his ex-girlfriends. But Stretch had already passed at this point, so Pac was technically talking to a dead man. These lines are not only aimed at Biggie but also directed at Stretch, who he had known for way longer. Before he put out his debut album Tupacalypse Now, Pac had him on every album, made dozens of songs with him, let him produce tracks for his projects, and even made him a member of his group Thug Life. With It Was All a Scheme, You Infiltrated My Team and Sold a Dream, he's talking about the Thug Life movement that Stretch and Biggie became a part of. Pac had his dreams crushed after that shooting. The people from the Thug Life movement, who were supposed to look out for him and be ready to put their lives on the line for their brothers, abandoned him and let him fight those robbers on his own. Didn't even help him to find the people who did it, when the whole purpose of the movement was to save and help each other. That was Pac's dream. The dream people like Stretch and Biggie sold him when they joined his movement. Pac is asking Stretch how he could just watch them shoot and beat him unconscious, when they all gave their word to fight for each other and to defend each other with their lives. He said Stretch dropped like a sack of potatoes, even though he was the biggest guy there, saying that Stretch and his family would still be living in the streets if he wouldn't have given him a chance to make money.
So you don't do people
Same
like
with
that,
Biggie.
bro.
Big would have went back to selling drugs to make enough money to raise his daughter, who was on the way. Pac was the one who took him on shows so that he can make some quick cash until his deal with Puffy works out. He gave both Stretch and Biggie money to eat and paid their bills as they were broke. He always looked out for them and gave them money when needed, took them on all his shows, had Stretch on all his albums, and even moved Stretch's family into his residence. Again about Stretch getting weak knees when the robbers pulled out their guns, and he just followed their orders not knowing what to do. Stretch felt like it would have been suicide if he had tried to fight back, cause he didn't have a gun, nor is he able to dodge bullets. Pac was the only one bold enough to counterattack. But you could also interpret these lines as shots against Biggie, blaming him for being too scared to open his mouth and tell him who did it, fearing the consequences of speaking up. Pac was not only disappointed, but he had also lost his respect for them, to the point where squashing the beef was impossible, as he could never see himself being their friends again. He also said this in the March '96 issue of the Source magazine. Stretch was my closest road dog, my closest homie. I did a lot of drama. I got into a lot of cases in Ish because of Stretch. Money-wise, he could have had anything. His daughter was my daughter.
They don't want to show this
Whatever
side
she
too far,
wanted,
though.
she could
You know
have.
what I'm saying?
Then this ish happened, and the guy
I
didn't
just want
write
to show
me.
Death Row part.
He didn't
and
do
all that
what
shit.
your
They don't
dog
wanna
is
show-
supposed to
you know what I'm
do
saying?
when you shut up. When I was in jail, he never wrote me, never got at me. His homeboys was coming to see me, and he wasn't coming to see me. And he started hanging around Biggie right after this. I'm in jail, shut up, his main dog, and he hanging out and going to shows with Biggie. Both these guys never came to see me. There were rumors on the street that Stretch sold Pac out for money, that he worked for Jimmy Henchman, and that's supposedly why he was the one relaying messages for him. That's why they went directly at Pac instead of the big guy, meaning Stretch. And that's why he continued to hang out with Bad Boy, who on the other hand continued to hang out with Jimmy Henchman. But Majesty, who's the brother of Stretch, denied it, saying that they were in shock and surprised when Jimmy Henchman got the number of their mother, cause Jimmy called their mom's crib, possibly to intimidate them, showing them that they know where their mom lives, and that they can reach her whenever they want, and they would have never worked with someone who threatened their mother. The last two lines of the first verse could be interpreted as Pac alluding to the rumors of Stretch selling him out for money. These lines are directed at both Stretch and Big. Fear wasn't their only motive when they let him down, according to Pac, saying that it was their greed for money that led them to trap or set up his friend during the robbery. He talked about this in the 96 Vibe interview.
And I feel as though he wronged you. You got out of hand and you wronged me. You got seduced by the power, not because he's an evil person, but because money is evil if it's not handled right. If you lose your composure, you can do anything. And he fear got stronger than love, and they know what they're supposed to do.
Then in the hook, he flips it and says that he must stay sharp and alert so that he doesn't fall prey to the things that greed for money brings. Pac wants to stay sharp so that he recognizes his friends with ulterior motives or hidden agendas, in order to make sure that something similar to the Quad Studio robbery doesn't happen again. Pac had developed trust issues and questioned everybody that was close to him, cut ties with most of the people he knew, as he felt like he couldn't even trust his childhood friends. That's why he started saying trust nobody during his time in prison.
I would tell each and every person out there, don't forget about that clicking up thing, you know what I mean? Be to yourself, stay to yourself, trust nobody, trust nobody. My closest friends did me in. My closest friends, my
y'all see the interviews by Pop back
then? I took care of
then?
everything for them, looked out for them, put them in the game, everything turned on me.
Therefore, anyone who's going to be down with Pac better holler at him. To let him know that he can trust him. That's the message of the song. This right here is a play on words and also confirmation that he's addressing Stretch. Stretch was part of the group Live Squad together with his brother Majesty. Being live means being bold, fearless and respected. Pac is questioning that now that he saw him in fear during the Quad Studio shooting. He can never be live because he's a quote-unquote coward that pretends to be hard but folds under pressure. But it could also be a double entendre, since Stretch passed away. He can never be live or alive because he's dead. These lines could also be a response to Biggie, cause on the song Who Shot Ya, Puffy kept yelling "Get Live" in the intro, interlude and outro. This is obviously about him standing up after getting shot 5 times and then going upstairs to see everybody's faces, including Jimmy Henchman, Puffy, Andre Harrell and the other 40 people who were up there. A couple days after Pac's single California Love with Dr. Dre came out, Pac got confronted by a couple of Keefe D's homies. Again, Keefe D was the Southside Crip that Puff Daddy hired as additional security to keep an eye on Suge Knight and the Ma Peru. Pac had a line in that song that upset the Crips, recognized
right?
From Long Beach to Rosecrans. The Crips had a problem
I just got
with that
10K. Thank
line
y'all for the
because Pac
10K.
was referring to the areas around Long Beach
10K on
Boulevard
Facebook.
and
Thank
Rosecrans
y'all.
Avenue
My
in
face gone.
Compton, which is the territory of the Ma Peru Bloods, the gang that Suge and most people working for Death Row were affiliated with, rivals of the Southside Crips and the people that Puffy wanted to keep in check. The Crip Big Syke, who was Pac's friend at the time, de-escalated the situation. I gave a detailed description of what happened in the Tupac murder documentary. Make sure to check it out.
Hip Hop
Tupac
Universe.
tattooed the acronym MOB on his inner right upper arm. The acronym stands for 2 things according to Tupac himself: money over bees and money, organization and business. He referenced it on numerous songs recorded in '96, Like for example Blasphemy, Hit 'Em Up, Changed Man, Worldwide Mob Figures, MOB, the list goes on and on. People to this day are still unsure if MOB was more than just an acronym that Tupac created. Cause MOB can also mean Mafia, a criminal organization, an acronym for Members of Bloods, or a reference to the Mob Piru. You can't make songs and call yourself MOB or any other gang name without gang members confronting you. So the Mob Piru members associated with Death Row knew what he was doing and were fine with it. Some say he got that tattoo to get the Pirus on his side, basically as an army to ride with him in his wars. Because Pac felt like the whole world was against him. He was in the middle of the East Coast-West Coast war. Suge, a Mob Piru member, got him out of prison and got him a second chance in life. So it could have also been loyalty towards Suge. Puffy, on the other hand, relied on the Southside Crips, meaning Keefe D and his people. Pac had Piru members as a security around him, and made himself a target against the Southside Crips. He not only became part of Suge's bloody war with Puffy, in which people like the Piru member Big Jake, one of Suge's friends, got killed by one of Puffy's associates, but the Southsiders around Puff were also beefing with the Pirus. So the wolves that Pac and Puffy had around them as security were fighting a bloody war of which Pac couldn't get out of. He more or less got dragged into a gang war without being a real gang member. And things got worse day by day. It wasn't just a hip-hop rivalry anymore. Both sides were constantly receiving death threats. The Crips would approach Pac and the Bloods would approach Puffy. Around the same time, Biggie and Junior Mafia filmed the music video.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on.
Okay.
To their hit record Get Money. Big was asked about the whole friction between the East and West Coast, and also about his beef with Tupac.
I'm just here to make music, man. That's it. Right. I don't know East Coast, West Coast, none of that. I'm on Big. I'm trying to make some paper, man. People in the West Coast, my love. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all thing. We gonna do our thing. We gonna continue to do our thing.
You a what? Bad Boy Killers.
I never heard his album.
On December 12th, Pac recorded the song F 'Em All, together with his outlaws, calling themselves Bad Boy Killers. In the intro, Pac tells Biggie to put his hands up.
Hey, yo, Big, put your hands up.
Taking a common saying from the police, put your hands where I can see them, and using it to belittle his rival Biggie, who's lyrically being held at gunpoint, cornered by Pac and his outlaws. He asks him to surrender and bow down to his greatness, telling Bad Boy to bow down to Death Row, while calling himself a notorious Biggie killer.
Notorious Biggie killer, affiliation with Death Row. Get their cap peeled back, food is the West Coast.
He wanted to show the East Coast that the West Coast is superior, during a time when the media couldn't stop using the phrase East Coast-West Coast War as a headline for their magazines. So he was obviously fine with that and was in full war mode, ready to take on the whole coast if he has to. 3 days later, on December 15th, just 3 months after Big Jake got shot in Atlanta, there was another incident that changed the beef between Puffy and Suge forever. Death Row Records was having a Christmas party at a home in the Hollywood Hills, and a record promoter from New York named Mark Anthony Bell, who was close to Puffy, decided to attend, which led to him getting beaten up and threatened by Suge, Tupac and the Mob Piru. They wanted to know the exact location of Puff Daddy's home in LA, so that they can pay him a visit and rough him up. Mark Bell refused to cooperate and got beaten up pretty badly. Suge even tried to force him to drink a glass filled with his urine, just to humiliate him. I have touched on this incident in my Tupac murder documentary. There you can find out what exactly happened that night and hear the story in full detail. When Puffy found out about this incident, he panicked and was scared for his life, cause Mark Bell took the first flight back to New York, and Puffy was notified immediately. Suge and his people wanted retaliation not only for Big Jake's murder, but also for supposedly knowing about the plans of robbing Tupac at the Quad Studios. So both Biggie and Puffy were mad at them.
He went to school
Big
for that
had
shit.
just seen the pictures of Pac and Faith together,
No, why people don't do their damn research. Like, man,
her
fuck
cheating.
Biggie's
And
better.
Puffy feared for his life.
Biggie's better than Tupac.
So he once again tried to get closer to Keefe D and the Southsiders to make sure that they're always with him whenever he flies to the West Coast. The following day, on December 16th, 1995, Snoop Dogg and the Dogg Pound were in New York to shoot the music video for the song New York, New York, off the Dogg Pound's debut album Dog Food, which had just come out.
I still ain't heard that.
It was released on October 31st.
Like somebody didn't check
Biggie heard it and was upset when he found out that they used the beat for his Sanites commercial to make a West Coast banger called New York, New York.
I know you're thinking, well, goddamn, what he drinking? The cookie letter. No other beer feel better.
At the time, Biggie thought that the song New York, New York was supposed to be a diss towards him, the king of New York, and also to the city he was representing. Cause not only did they snatch his beat, but their Fro had just signed Tupac, who allegedly slept with his wife and is now making diss records. No one knew what was about to happen. Bad Boy was already competing with Death Row. So they saw the album Dog Food as a direct response to Biggie's Ready to Die, cause they were going head to head with their album sales. The sales of the Dogg Pound album were getting closer and closer to Ready to Die, and they ended up going double platinum way faster than Big.
Dog Food was a banger.
It took them less than 3 months, while it took Ready to Die more than a year. But the game still respected Biggie way more than the Dogg Pound. Rapping-wise, he was just in a league of his own.
I'm going to the
Death
gym.
Row was still superior in terms of record sales, but Bad Boy was getting closer and closer. Now with Tupac on board, with all the rumors that were going around, and with Pac's comments in the Vibe magazine, people on the East Coast were nervous about what the hothead Pac would do next. It was rumored that Pac, Snoop, the Dogg Pound, and Dr. Dre would take the East Coast-West Coast beef to a whole new level by using Pac's anger, passion, and energy as ammo to fire at the East Coast. Back then, rappers and artists were shrouded in mystery. You would only hear from them when they would drop an album, a single, or do an interview. You didn't know what these people were thinking or planning. They couldn't just make a tweet and make you understand what they feel like at this very moment. So nobody knew what was about to happen. Both sides were waiting on each other to drop an album, a single, or an interview.
You think Kanye was
one
worse?
side says something about the other, so that they can respond accordingly. And right now, only Tupac and Suge were the ones wilding out in interviews. So Biggie didn't know what the Dogg Pound or Snoop thought about him. Were they agreeing with Tupac's hateful comments towards Bad Boy, or were they just doing their own thing? Biggie didn't know what to expect, but he was cautious and paranoid, cause the man had just ruined his marriage. What is he going to do next?
Fuck him up.
When Big heard that the people from Death Row came to New York to shoot a music video, he thought of the worst, thinking that Pac will shoot the music video to one of his diss tracks against him. In New York. Make fun of him in New York in his own territory. Showing New Yorkers that he can do anything he wants. That the West Coast is on top. And that the East Coast can't do anything about it. No one wanted to get humiliated and disrespected like that. Especially as the King of New York, he couldn't allow them to do that. He thought he's going to make a music video bragging about sleeping with his wife, while walking through the streets of New York like cowboys, like bosses, as if they own the place. So he felt like he had to do something, cause he knew how disrespectful Pac could be if he wanted to. A day prior, they beat up the New York record promoter trying to find out where Puffy lives. And now they're in New York doing God knows what. So everyone was on high alert, even though Pac wasn't even there. This video shoot was only for Snoop Dogg and the Dogg Pound, who were actually friends with Big before Pac got signed to the label. The video set in New York was heightened when the set was fired upon after New Yorkers felt they were being disrespected. When West Coast hip-hop artists flew to New York to film a music video in the middle of the East Coast-West Coast war. The video was originally going to be a dedication to New York, but they thought they would do the exact opposite. The Notorious B.I.G. called up the Hot 97 radio station with Funkmaster Flex and instigated the incident. According to Snoop Dogg, Biggie was the one who called the shots on him, cause they went to see Funk Flex earlier that day to show love and respect, and to say, DPG, we're here shooting a video. We need all you New York rappers to come F with us. Cause we love y'all. We shooting a video at Times Square. We shooting at Red Hook. Come get down with us. That's what Snoop and the Dogg Pound wanted to say on the radio, but Funk Flex wouldn't let them in. They then headed to the video shoot, and Big called up Hot 97 to speak to Flex and everyone listening. On air, he said, "There's a Tupac Dogg Pound video in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Brooklyn, stand up. How dare they come out here and record a video dissing New York?" Biggie's main motivation was to get Tupac. The situation between them was so heated that he didn't care about the consequences of those comments, calling for action as the voice of Brooklyn. While the entire city is
I just read somewhere, he said
he most likely did it out of anger towards
I didn't see all that.
when he wasn't even there. And there's a rumor that Puffy later went to Hot 97 in order to get rid of the evidence that Biggie called the shots on Tupac. And that's supposedly why there's no recording of Biggie calling up the radio and making those comments. Cause Big could have gotten in trouble for that. Snoop Dogg and the Dogg Pound were all out in the snow in front of the bricks shooting the video. And by the time they went back to the trailer, someone was shooting at it. The trailer got riddled with bullets, but luckily none of them got hit. The Death Row bodyguard Frank Alexander got him out of their safe. He and the Death Row head of security, Reggie Wright, said that Snoop and the Dogg Pound were scared like quote-unquote little B-words. When they flew back to LA, they told everyone what happened. Pac and Shook were heated. Sending people and trying to kill artists was a line.
I think they did the video. It would have been this video.
It became a life or death situation. Both sides were now expecting the enemies to do it again. Catch the other side off guard. Send goons to attack the artists or people associated with them.
All in his damn
Put out hits on
and
people
shit.
and ambush them the first chance they get. The question was, who will fold under the pressure and cross the line first? And how will the other side respond? Snoop, the Dogg Pound and Pac were now in F New York mode. They finished the rest of the music video for New York, New York in LA using a green screen. What was supposed to be a dedication to New York, in which they show the beauty of the Mecca of hip-hop, became a disrespectful declaration of war, with them kicking over buildings and walking through the city like Godzilla, trying to cause chaos and destruction. You might remember the July 95 Source magazine
He always
cover
looked
where they
lost,
crowned
bro.
Biggie the king
Ever
of
since
New
that beat
York,
started, he looked lost.
with him standing next to the World Trade Center while being depicted as a giant the same size as Godzilla. Now fast forward to December 95. Snoop and the Dogg Pound are about the same size as him in the music video, stomping on New York while kicking over their buildings. And again, using the same beat as the one for Biggie's commercial.
Damn, disappointing.
Definitely a subliminal shot at Big, but more importantly an act of disrespect towards the Mecca of hip-hop. Pac was really fed up with New York, because everything he went through happened in New York. Him getting robbed, threatened by gangsters, getting shot, getting accused of assault, and then also Snoop and the Dogg Pound getting their trailer riddled with bullets. All the people who were dissing him and sending shots, everything somehow happened in New York. Every time he goes there, there's trouble. So he was just done. Completely. New Yorkers took offense to the song and made response records to lyrically
why they ain't
defend
never go down
themselves.
south?
Like Capone Noriega's LA, for example, which also featured Tragedy Gaddafi and Mobb Deep, initially rapping over the same beat the Dogg Pound used. And in the video, they even kidnapped them and threw them over a bridge. Around that same time, Pac and the Dogg Pound recorded the New York diss song NY87 with rappers like Deadly Threat and DJ Quick. The song is going at multiple East Coast rappers such as Biggie, Mobb Deep, J-Ro the Damager, Tragedy Gaddafi, Channel Live, and A Tribe Called Quest. You can hear DJ Quick in the intro declaring war on the East Coast.
Yo, this is DJ Quick. Taking a second out with the Dogg Pound to let y'all know something. If you're looking in the Source mag and don't see me, it's because them niggas on the East is the enemy.
Corrupt and Daz then basically sum up what happened at the New York video shoot, paraphrasing what Big said on the radio to prevent the Dogg Pound from shooting the video in his city, saying that they can't come to New York to shoot videos, and that New Yorkers should go kill them, basically accusing Biggie of conspiracy to commit murder, similar to what Pac accused him of after the Quad Studio shooting.
Hey yo, God, the heads is tripping out in New York. Yo, money they can't come down here shoot no video.
Then they're calling Biggie out by name, saying that he shall holler at Tupac, similar to what Tupac said in the song Holla at Me, where he told his old friends Stretch and Biggie to reach out to him to settle their differences one way or the other. Then they addressed the rumor that had been spreading for the past couple of weeks about Tupac sleeping with Biggie's wife Faith Evans. The Dog Pound confirmed that those rumors are true. They then asked Biggie and his people if they really want to go to war with him, saying that the same people that set Tupac up tried to set up Snoop Dogg and the Dog Pound as well, once again accusing Biggie of setting Pac up. The intro ends with them saying that they might also have sex with Faith Evans as well, just like Pac. Because Biggie was saying that they can't come to New York unless they bring him a gift. And the Dog Pound wants to send back his wife with $350 worth of you-know-what down her throat, using her and then sending her back as a gift to Biggie.
Yeah, shit, me too, goddamn Drake.
Corrupt then starts off by naming all the people on the East Coast he's
I know
cool
they
with,
wasn't popping like
and
that, but I'm like, damn, y'all wasn't doing shows down there? Shit.
Then he uses slick wordplay to diss some of the new rappers and rap groups that came to the forefront during the time when the East Coast-West Coast beef really started to get out of control.
They talking more like they on the East and West Coast out there. Like, I know y'all touring across the world or something.
Then he touches on the incident of Biggie getting on the radio with Funk Flex to diss Pac, Snoop, and the Dog Pound before the New York video shoot, saying that he didn't expect to get dissed by a guy like Biggie who he always admired, calling him the deadliest force in New York, the person the city listens to.
Yeah, it'll be late.
That's what ultimately led to their trailer getting shot up. All it took was Biggie to hop on the radio and say something.
All I know is my mouthpiece. That's all I really know.
They're basically threatening Biggie that there'll be severe consequences if he decides to come to LA. They are ready to return the favor now that they got chased out of New York. Biggie did actually try to come to LA numerous times, and there were always problems for him. They made sure that he can never feel safe there again. The whole reason why Diddy got close with the Southside Crips and Keefy D.
Shit, hell yeah. I'm mad I wasn't goddamn grown. I'm mad I missed them damn days. Y'all had good, boy. Shit.
Pac starts off by calling out, quote-unquote, all the dogs and phony rap stars who think that they got rid of him. Meaning the robber Dexter Isaac and his two friends, Jimmy Henchman, Haitian Jack, Puffy, Biggie, Lil Sean, and Stretch, who quote-unquote picked the side of his enemy. This is probably the only song in which Tupac said F New York and not a specific artist. They were all fed up. From that point on, they would always bring dozens of security guards.
I'm gonna stop it right here. Appreciate everybody coming in. Make sure y'all check tomorrow. I might start streaming earlier tomorrow. Probably like 5 p.m. Probably around 5 or 8 p.m. We'll continue this, or I might just do NWA. I really want to do Eazy versus NWA, to be honest. Well, y'all make sure y'all go under my post on my page. Make sure what y'all want to see from like Future, what y'all want me to get into, songs y'all want me to listen to. You know what I'm saying? So we can keep in touch, so we can keep this thing rolling. You feel me? I appreciate everybody came in. I appreciate all the subscribers. I appreciate all the knowledge. I remember everything though. One thing about it, I remember everything. I might go listen to Tupac off stream. Get my mind right. You know what I'm saying? Like that cigarette, get a little cancer in me. Alright. Appreciate y'all. I love y'all, man. Thanks for a lot, y'all. I'll be on tomorrow. Make sure y'all subscribe to my channel, have notifications. I'll tell you what time I post. It probably be Tupac tomorrow, or it'll be Eazy versus Death Row. Or Dr. Dre, one of them motherfuckers. Whatever y'all want to see, let me know what y'all want to see, which one y'all want to see though. So I can know. So I can have it ready up for y'all. Y'all sub up and like, appreciate you.
Please don't take me out the gal.
Yeah, them motherfuckers too.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, Pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat fuck.